Rebel by choice. Evening Wolf, how's it going, dude? Good to have you joining us. What? Oh yeah, I'm off. Of course, I'm off to get myself a goddamn professional. May as well be OG life. Got any ramps for this or anything? JS, howdy Mr. Lonewolf, how's it going, dude? Brennan Heinrich, hi, how are you? Are you going to launch the rocket? I don't know. Because again, with the whole bug situation, not likely, but maybe. If I do it, it'd have to be right at the end of the stream. Because there's a chance, if it crashes the game, it'll automatically end the stream. Juice of Cane, hello Mr. Wolf. Oh, I wasn't even looking then. Yeah, how you doing, dude? Cheers for joining us. Like I said, today, basically, I've got a couple of mods. Some of the new ones. This one I was just messing around with quickly. But well, yeah. It's not going as amazing as it could be. It doesn't really sit to the floor, this mod. Oh shit. It's a bit late. Oh no, okay, that bloody way. Every time I get up, it sort of bumps me left or right. Wayne Brown, how's it going, Mr. Lone Wolf? I'm not too bad, cheers, dude. How are you doing? That's what I like, just get right to the loaf action. I'll grab some other mod. Yeah, there we go. The only reason I got this mod really was because the thumbnail of it was like a loaf sat on the back of it, and if anyone puts a goddamn professional in their mod thumbnail, then it's probably going to make it into one of my videos. It's just the way it is. It earned it. It deserves it. It's like a personal little loaf carriage. Tack trucks. And then now I should be able to, the suspension, yeah, it'll raise up. But that's the only thing I'd say. Obviously the back end doesn't exactly sit very flush to the ground. No, it's got like high-low, but it's not got low-low. Not that I care, because I rarely, if ever, use low-low. So yeah, we won't be doing a lot with this. I think today I'm going to have to do this plant restoration mission, which is not bad. It'll give us a chance to test a few of the vehicles out, which I'll show you in a second. And then it unlocks a few logging things. The reason why I'd like to do that. Needs ramps, yeah it does. Heisenberg Blue, how's it going, dude? Cooking a fresh batch of SnowRunner. Nice, your videos and commentary are excellent, dude. I appreciate it, man. Glad you're enjoying it. CR, cheers Mr. Lone Wolf, how's life? It's not too bad, cheers, dude. I've been taking along. I was a bit ill earlier in the week, nothing too crazy, but I've still been sorting my house out, sort of going through everything, chucking a few bits and bobs out, and yeah, it's been going pretty well. Nearly done. Got the kitchen left to do. What else? Kitchen and stairs, really. That's about it, so I'll be done. Done the next day or so. Jay Amused, what's that, Uncle 3, hello, how's it going, dude? Randy Craven, hey mate, how's it going, dude? Need to check out the Peterman or Peterman, however it's pronounced. Has Lone Wolf decals on both doors. I'll have to check that out. The Peterman, I think I've got that. I'll have to see if I've got enough memory to fit it. Because of stuff like this, basically. But today, the three main ones, I grabbed this, which is a tractor, partly just for messing around, but as you can see from the back, if I just go into the customization menu, don't let me down now, down on the D-pad, yeah, it's got that thing that's like a crane, which is pretty cool. It says I need some other attachment to be installed. There's probably something else. We'll get to that. And then some roof racks. Oh, so the plough, where is it? That's probably what you need to attach the crane, yeah, crane bracket. Yeah, it's got a rear plough on it, so that might be handy for certain situations, we'll see. But again, I'll just be messing around with that. The two main vehicles, really, is this thing, which looks pretty cool, a little bit like a sort of dolphin. It's definitely got very high sort of nose clearance, which is pretty cool. I've got a big recovery crane on it at the minute, but it's got various other attachments. And then, where is it? Kenny. A Kenny K100 12x12. And it uses less memory because... well, I mean, I don't know if they based it on like the international... the Transstar... oh, I don't know actually. I don't know, but it uses less memory anyway than the other two Kennys. Yeah, this one's 12-wheel drive. Looks pretty cool. For some reason, it gives me a Puppy Master vibe, this mod. I don't even know if it is theirs or not, but just maybe it's the tyres mainly in that it does. Yeah, it's got a big log carrier thing on the back, which looks pretty cool, so could try some logs with that later on. Andrew Nelson, got this game when I had an accident at work and had to stay home for a bit. Love it, found your vids and love the content. I appreciate it, dude. It's certainly a good game if you're stuck at home. It can eat hours like they're minutes. Right, so in fact, let's send... what's Kenny got? How big are his sideboards? Or does he have any sideboards? Not really. Yep. Well, that's a 3 slot. Can I still have a trailer? If I can, it should work out pretty nicely. Not sure if we're getting a loaf on that roof though. So I can. Yeah. Farmer loaf. He's everything. He can certainly be a farmer if he needs to. Winters, hello Mr. Lone Wolf, how's it going, dude? Jamie's uncle, just keep on gaming. Exactly. It's the best way. Yeah, I don't know, it's going to be... I don't know if a loaf will get on that roof. Right, what do we need to do anyway? Oh yeah, bricks. Where was some bricks? Ah. So there's 2 there. I know that warehouse has got 1. I need to kind of know if that place has got some, or if I've poached them already. What else do I need? Metal beams. So we can get metal beams from there, see if there's any bricks to be had. If not, I'll have to go Cosmodrome for the bricks, but that's not really a problem. So let's do that one. We'll loop round here, quickly check for the bricks, metal rolls from there either way, and then drop them off. Oh yeah, we've got to go and get a goddamn horse of a vehicle. Be rude not to. Jay Amused Uncle, I'm a YouTuber too. It's yeah, well I like it, it's fun. I wouldn't say it's I don't know, what would the word be? Well, for me anyway, I don't know, a time effective, but I don't mean that in a bad way. It just, I've got quicker at editing, that's the good thing. A lot quicker than I used to be. Like, when I used to, particularly doing some of them early review videos, it genuinely take me like, I don't know, 8 to 12 hours just to edit them. So every single day I was like, pretty much get out of bed, start getting the footage, start editing. By the time I'm done, go to bed for 6 hours, do it again. Now I'd say, yeah, it helps that those review videos became kind of quite consistent, just the same stuff, so it makes it a little easier to edit and all the rest of it. But yeah, now they only take, I don't know, 4 to 6 hours, which will do. These cranes are still not even strong enough, barely, to lift the loaf. What vehicle is it on? No, it's on a bloody... whatchamacallit, 605R. Juice of cane, goddamn professional. Exactly. See, takes longer to rotate the bloody thing than it does to load it. I seriously hate, yeah, everything pretty much about the cranes in this game. They used to be good enough to lift things, now they're not even good enough to do that. I've been on YouTube for, been a YouTuber for 3 months. It certainly is pretty slow starting off in that. Larry Clegg's president, Hummer president, how's it going, dude? That'll do. Oh. I'm currently doing a semi-vanilla playthrough Driver's Victory Horn. With just a couple of mods, and I'm getting prepared for Phase 5. Yeah, that's what... Well, I mean, this week, I pretty much had a little break. There was 1 or 2 videos I was planning on doing later in the week, but... during my time while tidying up and that, I think... I was sorting out, like, the curtains and that in the spare room, and there was a lot of dust. And I think I inhaled a lot of it, and I just didn't really feel very well. For like 3 or 4 days, I was a bit of a rough chest, sounded a bit smeggy and horrible. Well, this is Kenny, pretty nippy, I'll give him that. Kenneth Russ, Mr. Wolf, you're alive? I am, I'm doing good. Like I was just saying, yeah, because last week I'd done that, like, what I assume is a nerve in my neck. And it's weird, that makes me feel like I'm ill, but it's just missing the actual things like, I don't know, a blocked nose or whatever, but it makes your body react like you're ill. It's horrible. And then pretty much that went away for about, a day. And then I carried on sorting the rooms out and stuff, and then, I think on that particular day, I could just kind of feel by the end of the day, I reckon I'd inhaled a lot of dust and everything. And then the next day, I was pretty ill for the next 2 or 3 days, and then, now I'm feeling pretty good again. But then, about a day after that, I pulled the muscle in my back, which I did years ago. I think I've said it before, but I got a mattress, like a pretty fat, juicy mattress. It's a bit of a long story on the mattress. I might tell it later, I don't know. But yeah, I was putting it onto my bed, and I was trying to get it into the corner, and I couldn't push it like, well, when I was pushing it, my hands were just sinking into it instead of it kind of just slipping that last little bit into the corner of the, sort of the walls. And I tried to do the equivalent of, you know, where you try and, like, flap a blanket, or you, like, if you're doing, like, some picnic blanket, I tried to do that with a very heavy memory foam mattress, and, well, it happened from within me, but I felt things in my back move that really shouldn't have moved, and I don't think they really went back to where they're supposed to be. And, I kind of get a mini version of exactly whatever muscle I ripped to pieces when I tried to, flap a mattress like it was a blanket. But again, that wasn't that bad. Like, it was a little bit stiff for a day, that's what she said. But yeah, it wasn't that crazy. I think, I'm not sure, I might have already poached these bricks, but we've got to know. SnowRunner Addict, hello Mr. Wolf, how's it going, dude? Juice for Cane, damn Kenny. He's pretty nippy, I'll give him that. I quite like that it's a 12-wheeler. And, well, I'd already tried the other Kenny mods. Yeah, I think I've already poached this, haven't I? What's that? Oh. Oh, I bet it'd be for that. Oh, shit, yeah. I could have done with some metal beams. Oh, well, we'll have to go back there anyway. At least with a mod that gets on it like this, it's, it doesn't really... Not much of a problem just to turn around and nip back up the road. Rad Surfer, great to have you back, mate. I'm actually able to stay tuned for tonight's entire stream. I appreciate it, dude. It's good to be back. I was looking forward again. Like, it's nice having little breaks, and yeah, like, I'm not going to be playing this game or anything full time until Phase 5, because again, I don't want to use up, like, you kind of have a finite chunk of messing around time when there's not much left to do. And eventually I'll basically get bored of the game, but I'm really not bored of the game at the minute. But yeah, if I just sit on this game for hours and hours every night for the next 4 or 5 weeks or whatever until they release the next phase, I don't think I'd be bored of the game by then, but, you know, it would just be a bit like, nah, it's carrying on, ticking along as normal. Like, I have a little break and I really do start to, like, look forward to the game again. So it's, yeah, it worked out pretty nicely. Seth Fandetti, hello, hope everyone's having a good night. Me too, yeah, I'm not too bad though, cheers dude. SnowRunner Addict, drinking vodka. To be honest, well, I can just about handle it now that I drank way too much vodka, way too fast when I was about 15, and particularly since then, just the smell of it is, yeah, used to make me feel ill. But that being said, I remember when I downed 3/4 of a litre of vodka, and I wasn't sick. And then the next day I downed about the same, just less than a litre anyway, of pure orange juice in like a carton of pure orange, and I threw up everywhere. I was able to handle vodka better than orange juice. I love the map. Mobs. Do you mean mods? I've not been on many of the new map. Like I said, if they give us more save slots, it'd be a lot easier, but because I've basically got my non-mod playthrough, my modded playthrough, which we're on now, and I've kind of got a backup modded playthrough just when I really can't fit mods onto this one. I've had to delete and sell some mods for this week to fit all these on the bridge layer. See, that's what I liked though about the bridge layer, is because he did it as 2 separate mods, so you got like the truck and then the bridges by themselves. Well, I assume we'll find out now actually. I've turned the... yeah, I turned the bridge truck off, but I left the trailer part on, so I've still got like a trailer spanning over there. Yeah, so it's left all the trailers on, but I've freed up a lot of space being able to remove the trucks. I just wanted to see if I poached the bricks on this side. I may well have, but check it out. Currently I'm playing SnowRunner with the Olympics on a second TV and listening to you on my iPhone. Going all out. I've not really paid attention to the Olympics, I've got to be honest. Well, I don't really have TV, so... I have Amazon... oh no, I didn't... missed a payment on Amazon, so I haven't got Amazon anymore. I could technically pay it, but like, fuck it. Netflix, I've still got Netflix then, but I don't really watch a lot of telly, or I don't know, it's one of them. I like it on in the background. Have I nicked these bricks as well? God damn it. I assume then when I did this on my non-modded playthrough, there is some bricks at a warehouse on Cosmodrome, and that must be like, I must have brought them from there. Can we get over that tree stump? Yes, we can. Yeah, so yeah, I kind of, I don't know, stick the TV on in the background, but even when the TV's on, well, like I said, Netflix, I'm playing on my phone, or I'm up to something. I don't really sit out. Yeah, I did watch Matrix and Matrix Reloaded and the Matrix Revolutions the other day. Still a bloody good film, aged pretty well, I have to say. Well, Matrix is the best. Reloaded's pretty good. Storyline wise, Matrix is the best. Revolutions isn't crap, it's just not as good. Rebel by choice. My breakfast time hasn't been the same past 2 weeks. Missed the videos. Yeah, man. Like I say, I'll be back to it. Kinda. Well, at least certainly by the time Phase 5 comes out, I'll be still making a few more videos. I've just, like I said, had the old cleaning bug. It's finally kicked in. Do I want to go? Yeah, we do. Gotta risk it for a biscuit. Yeah, I just wanted to like. I'm nearly done now. It's practically like my whole high attack house has just been sorted, and yeah, as if like I've just moved in, everything's dust free, I know where it all is. Well, again, I'm about 90% there. Once all that's done, I'd feel a lot better, and then yeah, I'll no doubt get some videos on the go. But once Phase 5 comes out, then it'll be just back to normal anyway. That's the thing, it's like when Phase 5 comes out, suddenly I've got, I don't know, where's the winch point? Nobody knows. Yeah, suddenly it's like, oh, I could do with making like 10 videos in a day. Oh well, it's probably more my fault, to be honest. Wish they'd make it a little less slopey there, just because of how like there's never any friction really on the trailers, and it's the trailer that wants to go flying off. Like, I actually quite like that as an alternate route, but having to do that winch thing to the trailer every time makes it feel a bit unrealistic. I actually think it'd be pretty cool if it was a bit of a flatter, more level archway, so it doesn't automatically make your trailer want to fly off. I think it'd work quite nice. Have you seen the new mod map? It's an RC racetrack where it's like driving your trucks through a backyard and everything's giant. I'm not, but it sounds pretty good. Is that like some little micro machines thing going on? Hey Pitbull, I love that map. Yeah, oh, is that the same one? Again, I'll have to check it out at some point. Oh yeah, so I want to go, yeah. Investigate. Oh, in fact, should just be able to cut up there, mate. Oh, I don't know, fuck it, let's just go around. I'm hoping it's not looking good, but maybe there's no bricks showing up because I've just never been up there and discovered them. We'll find out in a minute. It appears that the Phase 5 maps are going to be really small. Is it? I don't necessarily mind that. Depends what they do with them though, really. I'd rather a small map that's a good map than a massive map that's a crap map. So, obviously, I suppose best case, I'd rather a big map that's a good map. But yeah, as long as they make good use of them, that's not automatically the worst news, but yeah. Well, I suppose at least if they make the maps terrible, there's less map that exists to be horrific. Phase 5 is like Michigan 2.0, that'd be pretty cool, because I like Michigan. Well, there's no bricks there either, so at some point I'll probably have to go... What was it here? Just, oh no, I need bell rolls. Yeah, to Cosmodrome. Not that it matters. Again, I think Kenny'll eat it for breakfast. To be fair, get that. Go back to there. Fat stack. Where have you been, Lone Wolf? Been doing things, tidying. To be honest, as well. Now, I suppose that lockdown bollocks is kind of stopping. Been making a few phone calls. Things are coming back to life a little bit. So yeah, I'll be relatively, like I said, relatively back to normal soon. But there still won't be like probably a video every single day because yeah, I've not got many missions left to do, to be honest. But then yeah, at least when Phase 5 comes out, it will be fully back to normal. And it depends, and as long as they release the phases quick enough, I'll be just carrying on like a video every day. Like I said, at the same time, it's worked out quite nicely to have like a little window of having a bit of a break, getting some other stuff done. And we'll have to see as well. I'm considering I may possibly try and monetize the channel pretty soon and put some adverts on. I kind of didn't want to, but to be completely honest, long-term wise, well, I'm going to have to start doing some kind of work, so... And then I definitely won't be able to do YouTube full-time. But we'll see if I can do that, and maybe that'll help a bit. Yeah, I don't know really. Like I said, because everything's kind of just opening up from lockdown and all the rest of it, it's a bit hard to know. Oh, don't do it to me, things. But they did it. I'll tell you what, this is a good chance actually. Let's try out the other mod. It still sucks. That trailer is still a piece of shit. I stand by it. Pitbull Dog, they're adding a new ramp add-on to make loading trucks easier for free in Phase 5. Yeah, that's pretty cool. It definitely makes sense as well, because... Oh yeah, they don't give us any cranes that are strong enough to lift the trucks, so... At least if they give us some ramps, that's that way around it. Well, I could take this quickly, I've already got the crane on it. Looks pretty cool, sits all pretty flush and everything. Question is though, can we get a goddamn horse on that roof? This is the important need to know information. Well, I know I certainly need to know. I bought the Tetra Pack, so goodbye Phase 5. You should still be able to get it. Is that the thing where people have been saying, like, if you buy a pack separately, you can't buy the whole phase? I bought the Tetra Pack first, separately, for £5, and then I didn't have enough money for the bloody season pass that week, and then a week or so later I bought the whole season pass for £20 and it let me, so you should still be able to. I'd be amazed if they left it where if you bought, like, and again, I don't know, like, there could well be some truth to what the people were saying. It was just PS4, it worked for me. I was able to buy both of them, essentially. But yeah, either way, if that's the case on some other system, whether it's like PC or whatever, I'd be amazed if they leave it like that, because that's just doing themselves out of money, and it ain't like companies to be doing that. That's exactly the kind of shit they'll be on it. Like I said, when there was a bug with the shop in Call of Duty, they literally fixed it in 1 hour. Every other bug's like weeks to months to fix. Well, I don't know if you will, you know. Well, we might pack like that. Let's see. What I'm gonna say is doubtful. One less. Oh no, not that one. This horse. I think we just slip back. We did. Try one more time if not. It's not the end of the world. I would like to do though. Get his back end around a little bit. Get his front end while we're doing it. Oh, he's gone. Oh my god, saved himself. Zombie winch. Alright. I'll accept. Staying on pretty well, he's not even attached. He's gone. Now he's going to flip me. Goddamn horse, always have a good time with him. Doesn't matter what I'm up to. Always good for a laugh. Yeah, one thing I do like the look of this though is it's practically got no nose. Gives me bridge. Even if you don't hit the bridge properly. It goes pretty badly. Try not drive forward. That. Wow. What a bloody disaster. Note to self, don't hit the bridge badly, because it'll go badly. I just find it weird why release the Tetra Pack as DLC and not be able to get Phase 5. Yeah, when somebody told me, like, I just bought the Tetra Pack, and then somebody said in the comments, like, oh, just beware that if you buy the pack separately, you can't buy the, you know, the whole Phase 2. Season 2, sorry. Which again, I was like, oh, I didn't know, but I thought I'd be surprised. That's certainly pretty stupid if they've made it like that. And I've heard it of multiple people, so I assume on some kind of platform that may be the case. It's a Loafberry. He's hanging on there pretty well, considering there was no winch attached. But yeah, the roof's a tiny little bit too narrow. I reckon if I was left to my own devices, I reckon I could get a loaf on there, but it'd be to the point where you have to be so precise and lucky that you hit the handbrake just at the right time. Like, the front wheels are near enough be skidding down the front windscreen. the back wheels will just be like balancing on the back edge of the cab or whatever, so it won't really be worth it. I'd say it's doable, just not, yeah, like, I'm not going to be doing that each time. I should have towed him behind me. Yeah, pretty critical bug, if you ask me. Yeah, it is, like, and again, if there's ever going to be a bug they'll fix, it'll be that one. It's these bloody railway lines, man. Yeah, like, it just, because the only outcome of that is just going to be money out of their pocket. If there's people that have bought the Tetra Pack and now they're forced, you know, they're not allowed to buy the entire season pass, then, well, they're going to lose, you know, up to 15 quid per person. I mean, to be fair, I think this thing's nose clearance would have made it over there. What is this called again? Tenno, that's it. Tenno T21. Sounds like a tampon of some sort. That was fun. And what's that? Sideways, maybe. What's that about? Oh, with the loaf, do you mean? Yeah. Oh, tree stump. Maybe. I think it'd be... like, yeah, extremely sort of pushing it. But it possibly... yeah, it'd be close, I know that. The truck you're driving is a real life truck. It's a badass truck in real life with lots of attachments. Yeah, it looks pretty cool. Like I said, generally speaking, this is more the sort of stuff I wish SnowRunner themselves would add to the game. Like, we got plenty of sort of 3-axle, 6-wheeled trucks. And yeah, not that there's anything wrong with them. There's plenty of good ones in there, but that's what I mean. I've got good ones of them now. I want more stuff like this, even though we've already got the Dolphin, Bruce and whatnot, but yeah, just the fact that this stuff looks like sort of cooler, or rarer to see, rarer to have in a game where you're allowed to drive it. 3-axle, 6-wheel trucks, I can get them in Grand Theft Auto. To be fair, this thing feels pretty nicely balanced, to be honest. I like the fact it's still got a nice pace to it and everything, but it's not just been OP mode like that. Kenny, you can tell, is like a bit on the OP side, in a nice way, to be honest. It's nice to try mods like that every now and then. This actually feels like, yeah, if they added it themselves and it was this balance, it'd be good coming from them, but it's, I wouldn't say it's like better than the Dolphin or anything like that. It's ballpark around the same as that, so it's fits the game pretty well. I bow to your superior knowledge of feminine hygiene products. I used to work at a shop. Again, I might have told you this before, but when I was like 16 or 17 or whatever it was, and I was down the aisle that had tampons, and some woman that was a very large woman, let's just say that, she came stamping down the aisle, did not look impressed at all. And then, what was it? Yeah, she had a box of tampons in her hand, and she was like, "Do you have these, but in heavy flow?" So I nearly threw up in my own mouth. And I was like, a friend of mine, a girl, was, I don't know, probably 17, 18 at the time. She was further down the aisle, started pissing herself laughing, and it was like, why would you ask me? Like, why would you look down the aisle, see a girl and a guy, and think, he'll be the tampon expert? So she came and asked me. I had no idea what I was just pointing at a load of tampons. I don't fucking know. Tried the mop and bucket aisle for all I care. It's, it ain't... I need to get out of this situation ASAP. Yeah. And then I worked at a different place, that place where I said I was terrorising the managers because they were bullying all the staff. And they sold tampons wholesale. And some guy come up looking at me because he was trying to find the right ones. And as soon as he looked at me, I was like, don't even ask, mate. I don't have a clue. There's about 50 different varieties. Yeah. So I'm certainly not an expert, but I've been forced. Forced to gain more knowledge than I would have liked. I miss my parents. Why? What's going on, dude? Do you mean if they passed away, or are they like just not within contactable reach? Well, crane feels pretty good on this. Help if I press the right buttons. Yeah, I mean it's raising that. It's the normal crane can be a bit iffy with Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe one of my metal beams just decided to fuck off for no apparent reason. It doesn't really help. Thankfully, just back there, I should be able to poach that rocket debris. But still, it's a good job I know that. Otherwise, I would not be impressed. It's worst case scenario when the game just starts poaching your supplies. And yeah, it may have been because the nose of this was pretty close, but I don't believe it was overhanging or like to the point they would have morphed together. The game just, I don't know, it got more fussy with how much distance needs to be between each vehicle and all the rest of it. Juice for King. Can the P16 come out to play? Possibly. I know he's there. I believe I was using that one last week, maybe. The dual front tyres. Surprised it didn't climb up there just then. Oh yeah, I can grab this metal debris with a crane, dude. Mum and Dad rip. Sorry for that, dude. Tell her to get herself a loaf. Exactly, that's what I should have said. Jab these been a heavy flow. Like, listen. Get yourself a loaf. He'll do a lot. Heavy, medium, light. And then some. Then again, if you've seen this woman, I don't know if I'd have the heart to send the loaf in there. Bit of a cruel end. Quit and reload that bitch. We'll wait. Do you know what? I would, but it'll automatically end the live stream. Otherwise, again, I mean, if I was getting this for footage and I wasn't on the live stream, I would have. That's precisely why I quit and reload. Something like that, where it's not my fault. It's just bullshit on the game's part, and yeah, it owes me a metal beam. And obviously, to be fair, I've unlocked the warehouse on this map now, so I have got unlimited metal beams. But yeah, before you unlock that warehouse, all of these, obviously rocket debris, are limited cargo. And that's just one of many ways it could screw you over. So that would have been prime territory for quit and reload, but yeah, it'll just end the live stream. I could start obviously another live stream, but then the live stream's now in 2 bits, and then it's like some people only obviously realise there's 1/2 of it and all sorts. Ben Tucker, good morning, how's it going, dude? Davis78, how's it going, Mr. Lone Wolf? I'm not too bad, how are you doing, man? Oh, probably a bit further. There we go. Well, can still wear it like a hat. Your mum is a metal beam. What's for sure? You beef. So this thing is a little bit tippy. not crazy, and to be fair, I am wearing a metal beam as a hat, I appreciate that. But I did notice it tipped when I got to that trailer as well. Again, not fully tipped, but it thought about it. God, where's the goddamn winch point? How many hours I've spent of my life just scrolling through winch points because they've been very badly designed. That tree's not happy about it, is it? Tough. What time is it there? 20 past 3 in the morning. Aussie man, my condolences to SnowRunner a bit, yeah. That's definitely not good. Spell tippy top hat. I definitely don't think it's helped, but I do sort of like, yeah. I think there is a little. I wouldn't say this truck is tippy. I just wouldn't say it's particularly not tippy. Like there, other vehicles are sort of more confidently and urgently return to like a flat base. That thing was sort of quite happy just staying tilted over to the right a bit there. A little bit waste of your time, winch points out the way. See what I mean? Like, it's, again, it's not terrible, just reckon that's, I believe though it's got the offline winch, so pretty sure I can flip myself over. Put down a little bit. That's what I need. But to be fair, it's ticking along quite nicely. As long as the crane's more powerful, that'd be the big main thing I'd want from this truck. But there is other options for this truck. I just, when I was flicking through, see like there, that is a bit tippy. Like, that's definitely not pure me. Like, overall, that's a pretty flat section. I know it's a bit of like leaning, but so all I'll say as well, with the metal beam on its head, it sticks out both sides. It is now like slightly over to one side. Yeah, it's as much a counterweight on the opposite end as it is like extra weight on the end you're tipping. So although it does sit the weight a bit higher, well, I assume the trailer's, the crane's pretty good because it it just accidentally lifted that entire trailer without like even noticing. Aussie man, my father passed away in 02. He's 57. That's pretty young, man. My dad passed away in 04. I'll be honest with you, I can't even remember how old he was. He was in his 40s though, I believe. Well, yeah, I'm pretty damn certain he was. Crazy though how much time passes when you think it's 2021 now, so for you it would have been like 19 years ago. It probably doesn't necessarily feel like that. Unpack cargo. I'm surprised the game didn't just steal another metal beam just for the fun of it. Right, well that's metal beams, so yeah, we didn't get any bricks, but we got some metal rolls. Always like death snow here. I don't know what it is they were trying to achieve with it, but it's there. So I can see the bottom of that comment. I assume parents told her he adored her, the apple of his eye. I can't see you posted that though, sorry. Tennis for us, I'm looking for phase 5 and seeing morning videos from me. Yeah, definitely, it'll be good to get back into. Like, well, again, fresh maps, a couple of new vehicles or whatever. Yeah, sort of get back to, like I say, normal video. It's been weird for this last week because even though I've had various days off here and there, this week was like, I believe, pretty much the first week where I kind of knew as soon as I woke up, I'm not going to make a video today. Like I said, I originally had planned 1 or 2 videos throughout the week, but they weren't necessarily like for the next day and so on. And then, yeah, I felt a bit ill and I was like, ah, sod it, I'm just having the week off. Yeah, like the amount of time that, even though I was messing around, spending hours like sorting, I was just going room by room and so on. Yeah, it sort of gets to like 4 in the morning and it's like, bloody hell. Kind of, I've got a load of cleaning done, got a load of stuff done. How many metal rolls can we fit? 1. We need 2. I can move the old goddamn horse. Yeah, it was just funny, like how much time, sort of, like I said, doing these videos. Obviously, smaller videos aren't as bad, but yeah. Let's just jump over to the side. Out, is there nothing up in reach? No, I'll just turn behind me, to be honest. Oh yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say. You'd have to do it. Oh yeah, no, I can actually. Right. I did try this either month or whenever it was, but I was going to Northern Aegis, and I believe when I travelled through the gateway, it then unpacked the loaf, so even though this worked, it kind of... Where the fuck is the winch point, man? Just start it where the fucking camera's facing. Now it's the wrong bloody winch. Surely it can't be that difficult to manage. Just make it start somewhere on the screen. What the hell's going on in the loaf there? The nice thing with doing this as well, I've still got 4 slots of cargo on the trailer, so you don't actually get like this little sort of gap at the back of the trailer. And then yeah, now I should be able to pack the loaf, and then he should just stay on there. I mean, he's a highly trained goddamn professional, so I'm not surprised, but still pretty cool nonetheless. Yeah, so 2 metal beams, 2 metal rolls, concrete blocks and cement I can get from the other side, and then yeah, it's just the bricks. I have to say, this Kenny, it does drive very nice, smooth. It's, again, OP if you're also wanting a challenge on the map, but given the amount of hours, I was thinking about this the other day, like, how many hours I've probably spent on this game in the last, well, it's just over a year now really, but I was thinking, well, I'm definitely over 1,000 hours on the game, probably a couple thousand, but obviously in the last year I've done a shitload of editing, so that eats up time I'm not physically playing the game. But I suppose if you add up like playing the game and editing and everything, I reckon it's got to be 4,000 or 5,000 hours. I was even working out, I reckon it's around 800 to 1,000, could even be over 1,000, just roughly 1,000 anyway, hours just replying to comments. Which is pretty crazy, really. Oh yeah, we'll loop looking around. Did I ever build that? What's it called? Roadblock, landslide, whatever. There's the bridge. Oh, maybe I did. Yeah, because I think it was there. Not that I care, I'm going around this way anyway. I just can't remember if I did. I remember it blocking me every now and then. Aussie man, thank you. To think she's in college now, social work, early childhood education. What is that, sorry? Is that your daughter? It's crazy, like my oldest nephew, he's got to be getting on like, I think like 16 this year or something, and it's like, I remember when he was born, and it really doesn't feel like 16 odd years ago. It is pretty scary and crazy how quick it all goes. Well, again, like when I was a kid, my mum and well, yeah, my dad, they would have been like, I'd say when I was a pretty like little kid, my mum was mid-30s, my dad was probably like mid to late 30s. Yeah, now I'm not far off mid-30s. And I certainly don't, I don't know, I still don't feel like an adult yet. From what I was told, you'd make it past 18 or something and start feeling like an adult. I certainly know. Aussie man, my niece. Yeah, it's pretty crazy though, isn't it? Like, I think, yeah, my oldest niece is, what are they? They're like, thankfully, because I really can't remember for shit, but they go like 15, 13, 11, 9. So I think this year they'll be 16, 14, 12 and 10. So I assume then, yeah, my oldest niece should be 14 this year, and again, I remember when they're born, just little baby, etc. And now, yeah, like not that far off, they'll be like driving in the next couple of years and all sorts. So we'll leave Kenny here for now. He did good though. Loaf did good, but he always does. I wonder why Kenny's got his own little like yellow badge next to it. Well, I wouldn't mind giving this a run, but without the crane, so... Does look pretty cool, I like the look of this thing. If I remember, yeah, I'd like... a 3-slot sideboard. Also quite like that. I know it's only little details, but for some people it will matter, because I've seen people mention it before. Obviously, depending on what tread of tyre you choose, you have all these various lights, so you can actually have the matching spare tyres that go with your vehicle. The big fuel thing, what's in it, 2,000, I'm surprised there's not more than that, but 2,000's obviously plenty, to be honest. And then, yeah, at least saddle high and saddle low, which you don't realise how handy that is until you get something like that new Tatra, and then that can't have a saddle low, and suddenly it's like, oh, that actually does limit your options quite a lot. I assume I can remove those tyre things, but I quite like the way they sit sort of hanging off their little crane mount things as well. So we'll get that. Let's get another ramp flatbed. What do we need though? Concrete blocks and so, yeah, so 6 slots, that'll do. Go for a speed run, we could grab a low time. Oh shit. I thought this had a thingy on it. I could have swore this had an offline winch. That must have been Kenny then. It's close. to be honest. I don't know if it's going to bullshit me with that though. Yeah, it is. I wish they'd fix that. I know it's only something little. But how it doesn't give you the winch to a lot of stuff. Like, even though it's within range and it says it's there and all the rest of it. Oh yeah. Shit, it'll attach the trailer. I know this isn't a bug per se. I wish the trailers are just fucking attached. Like, just attach the bloody thing, man. But now, because the little flappy thing moved. Ridiculous, man. It's quicker just to do this, buy a new one. Quick go to garage button or something, it's annoying. Yeah, no, I agree with that. I still to this day, like, how the hell they haven't included that just in the menu, travel to garage, and as well when you go into this, just the top before you have a list of any trucks or anything, just its own separate menu, first thing at the top, garage. Again, someone told me, which has helped a lot, is like I can sort of go to that garage point, click R3, and then I can press X and travel to the garage, which is helpful, definitely, but it's still like, you say, just, it's pretty obvious by now. If they'd played their own game for any extended length of time, they'd soon be like, that's the most obvious thing you would add. Try and grab the old horse again. Why, game? How the fuck do you fly a winch past the loaf to attach that trailer? That's what I've just... I'd love to know how the mechanics of this game work sometimes. Like, it's the one. Oops, if I look where I'm going now. In my experience, you just look away for a few seconds, and when you look back, he's usually fine. So. Oh yeah, which bit of the cliff? We could try and jump off here. Save a bit of time. Chris Bell a little too hot. I think go, is that flying around the hill? To be fair, there's like a massive banked bit of camber there, but I honestly thought this thing had the offline winch on. It must be Kenny. I equipped all of these, like, literally just before I started the live stream, and something definitely had an offline winch. Because you had the choice between like a normal winch or a weaker one that was offline, which... yeah. But I think it is this one. Thankfully though, see, it was a good bloody job. I flung a winch out for that loaf though, because then when I switched the loaf back to this, fired the engine up. So the loaf had some words. Drifted quite a lot there, considering I've got the chain on. Normally, sort of muds behave like that. Oh my god. Wow. Nice try, landslide. Better luck next time. Tree. Put more of a fight than that entire landslide. That's one nice thing about having very good nose clearance, like it just flew over that. The touchpad would be well good. Is that a touchpad? Yes, offline winch machine would be great. I haven't tried that truck yet. Looks like it runs pretty well. Yeah, it's pretty nice to be honest. It feels pretty well balanced. The whole tippiness thing as well feels better already. Like, even though that crane thing looked like it sat very sort of flush and low down and all the rest of it, I believe weight-wise it was more that was sitting like, yeah, making it a little bit tippy when I was wearing that cargo as a hat and all the rest of it. Now without the crane, just as like sideboard and all the rest of it, it feels tippy-wise pretty good as well. And yeah, I like the look of it. I like just flying over that landslide, for example, having a good chin clearance like that. It almost reminds me a little bit, if you imagine Bruce, but if they just removed that entire bottom bumper section off it, it sort of look like this a little bit, where it almost does look like, you know, the bottom bit of the truck's missing, but for us that's a good thing, because yeah, all the bumper's going to do is stick in the floor. Using the touchpad to guide your winch would make too much sense. Excuse me. Yeah, if you could, I don't know, do the touchpad and the winch just, as long as it appeared on the screen, so once I can tell to start scrolling left or right, it's just the winch could literally start anywhere 360 degrees around you. When you're pressing left or right, you don't know if you get further away or near or whatever. Even if it just started somewhere on screen, I mean, preferably at 12 o'clock would make the most sense, because then you would go, oh, I want to winch to that tree, I will look at that tree. I mean, in this case, it will probably work. But if there was a load of other shit all around, it certainly wouldn't very well. Well, if I go to select a winch, yeah. Where's it started? This back there. That's not that bad. But yeah, it's like it could just be anywhere. Analog would be better back and forward motion. To be honest, if you press like the one saving grace in a way of the terrible way of the system winch system. What did I say? System winchum? Or I don't even know. I'll have to play it back at some point. The winch system is you can press like up and down and left and right on the D-pad to scroll through the like the different winch points. So if you've got something that's like on the left, your winch point's on the left of the screen, but you need to winch to something to the right of the screen, you think, oh god, I've got like 200 winch points to scroll through. If you... It might be a similar height though, so you can then press up and down, and then like the winch will now jump between like height-wise, not left and right-wise, so sometimes you can save a bit doing that. But again, if it just started in the middle of your screen, that would solve 99% of the issues anyway, since most people naturally look where they're going to attach to it. I mean, it works pretty well for auto winch, so I don't know why they can't just make it start there for like the manual winch. So what do we need? 2 concrete blocks. Cement. One thing I like about this, even though it's like it's not rapid or anything like that, it puts its power down quick. So at least when you squeeze the throttle, it just gets on with it, which I like. Again, once you come up to rough terrain and all the rest of it, you've seen it in the mud earlier, it was like, it's definitely not an OP broken truck by any means. But it's not, it fits in well with the game. Just about managing high gear down here, which the Dolphin can, so again, sort of ballpark. It was a little bit close there, you can hear that whistling noise now. It's pretty comfortably in high range now, but it was touch and go for a few seconds there, so it's, yeah, it is about, I'd say, like, pretty similar to the Dolphin, just, I swear, a better chin on it, definitely. What's the fuel tank? 240 litres. It probably uses less fuel though, because the, it's barely braking 10 litres a minute. And the Dolphin's in high gear whistling at that noise, that'd be on 20-25 litres a minute, I reckon. A different colour for the selected winch point would be nice. Yeah, true, just so it's definitely like a lot quicker to be able to see, that would help. everything in this game being bright white was a huge oversight. Can't see a damn thing on the screen half time. It's the same here, like last week when my neck was hurting. I'm now sat on the edge of my chair and like, I don't know, I've got my elbows sort of leaning on just above my knees and everything. I could sit back and like, yeah, it was an uncomfortable position last week with my neck and everything, but I can't read what's on the screen, mainly because, yeah, it's like white and there's a lot of snow and all sorts, so I tend to have to like sit forward just so, and then you're trying to read like plant restoration's a little easier because it's in yellow. But yeah, when you're trying to look at like read some of the things, I'm trying to do like that, like find a dark bit of rock in the background and all that. Then if you look at the bottom left of the screen where there's that functions is written, they've put like a black box behind that, which is, it helps the word functions stand out, but the box itself is still partially like see-through, so it's sort of translucent, so you can still see what's going on behind. They need to do that on the mission thing, and yeah, I mean, just change the font colour. White was a stupid idea to go with on a snowy game. So I wasn't paying attention to it. Normally I cut round. Like, a lot of stuff gets stuck going through the middle here. But it just shows you again, this truck's completely in line with like all the other vehicles. For those of you that, like someone was saying they did a semi-vanilla playthrough or whatever, this would be a good mod for that kind of thing where you don't want the absolute insane broken stuff. But this would sort of be a nice addition to the garage without, yeah, breaking the feel of the game or making it now easy mode or anything like that. It's just different vehicles to take, really. Not liking that rock too much, to be fair. It's definitely getting up very meaty. Modders take games to another level. Yeah, it is like they've definitely modders deserve like a lot of praise because they've extended the life of the game really, like, yeah, to a big degree. Pretty much as important as them adding like another season. I mean, mods in general, not just this game, but you think like, I mean, hell, people still play GoldenEye or something on like PC. What do they call it? I'm not very good with all this lingo, but I can't even remember. There's a word for it. Probably thinking, what the hell am I on about? They're like, obviously the game GoldenEye you can play on the Nintendo 64. A lot of people don't have a Nintendo 64 lying around, etc. So they've got like a version of it on PC with mods and all the rest of it. But yeah, all sorts of game mods have kept like a hell of a lot of games alive, really. After modders did it, the new cats are a lot faster than usual vanilla trucks. I was going to say, there's bricks in there, but I need 4. I think in total I've got 3 on this entire map, so yeah, I'm going to have to get them from bloody... Oh, wait there. Fuck it. I can't remember if there was 2 or 4 left at that warehouse. But there is a place with bricks up here anyway, so... Worst case, I'll poach that. Here's something funny, I bet almost no one does. Read the descriptions of the trucks. Yeah, I usually do read them all, even in my review videos. Right at the end, I kind of scroll to the vehicle. When I'm saying the price of it, like the base price, I normally press, is it square or something, to, or left on the D-pad or whatever, or right. Some of the descriptions are kind of funny in the sense, is it the Derry? I'm trying to say it's a beast, and it's like, no you ain't. Emulator, that's the one. Cheers. What's that, Brian? Is that Wegener? I hope I said that right. But yeah, cheers man, that was the Emulator. Again, I like have pretty much 0.0 knowledge of PC stuff. Oh my god, I haven't even built this main bridge. Built that bridge, got that bridge. Well, that bridge. Let's go flying down here, I don't do that one too often. Up there. .348 GMT, yeah, well it's 3:49 now, but when you posted that it probably was. Oh, it was me that went, I was eyeballing the trailer. Oh well. Did not help. Is it going to start? It looks like it sits where it should fire up at that angle. And it must be literally millimetres away. Not having it. It's not fully loaf trained yet. What have we got nearby? I know there's a Kenny's only just up here, so it's not the end of the world. Oh, I might have to send Kenny thingers. I'm going to need something with a bloody crane again. Oh well, it might be time. Somebody did ask about this beast. Yeah, why D-pad? Didn't even have that one on it. Let's see what that's like. Which way have I got to go? And then I just crash there. Decisions. Which way do I go? Do I go that way again and just jump down? Yeah. Have a pygmy loaf out while I'm there. Was the beast, he loved me a bit of P16, he was a damn horse. Oh my god, this thing's about to go for it. It's gone. Fucking hell, one day. Have I just became an amateur at this game in the last week? Or are things tipping a little bit more than I remember? Then again, it has got this big stupid crane on it. I don't know if that makes it that much worse or not. I'll be honest, I wouldn't have thought the crane would have enough weight to really throw the P16 around. But I've never used this crane on this P16. Normally I just put the little KRS Bandit one on. Tippy here, really. Left to right, anyway, I must have just gone a little bit keen around the corner. Grab that way, yeah. Is that loaf? That might be loaf. One loaf. Not having it today. Wants to remain in that forest. Will you like it when it vibrates? I must do, because seem to be in the mood for crashing today. Thunderbird 2, incoming, exactly. Thunderloaf, well, again, chilling. He's in that forest. He seems pretty happy. Oh yeah, Roadblock. So it's not the P16 that worries me, it's these bloody crane legs. They grip wide the front tyres anyway. They're not doing shit to help. That was like all on the winch. Disappointing P16. So we are hooked on that tree. Move that in, bend the tree, restore crane, peak, we are free. Pod steer with the crane, get yourself one. I've got a mod already, like that's where the Heavy Wrecker was the first mod that I ever kept kind of long term that I knew I was going to keep and all the rest of it. What tyres are on this? Because I'm sure it said chain, but they don't fucking feel like it. Yeah, it takes so much memory that you can only have like the twins, the Heavy Wrecker, and then a couple of other mods. Well, you can probably fit all the basic ones from like Fox's mods. I think those Bartelby mods don't seem to really add anything either, and JBE mods. For the most part, I did notice the Tatrin, JB Tatrin adds a little bit, not bad to be fair, but more than nothing. Yeah. I mean, that's what, like, to do today, I had to delete that Hummer that I tried last week. I quite like that Hummer. There was that little, I can't remember, like, Swedish armoured vehicle. I quite like it for a scout. I didn't use it as a scout, it just felt like it drove quite nice and all the rest of it. Like I said, I had to delete both my bridge layer trucks, not the actual mod itself, but yeah, the bridge mod part, just to free up room so I could load Kenny on and this tampon thing or whatever it is that I've just rolled. Stay confident, we all know what you're capable of. Well, again, thanks to the magic of editing, you get to see the good end of what I'm capable of. What I'm capable of in the same way as they say, if you put enough monkeys slapping a typewriter, they'll eventually shit some Shakespeare out. That's my experience on this game. Get a goddamn horse, there's my Shakespeare. But yeah, I appreciate it, man. I think, to be honest, I don't know, I probably am a little bit of an amateur. It's probably one of the biggest breaks I've had on the game for the last year. Getting rusty, doesn't take long. It's the only reason I wanted to bring this longer crane. Just the easiness option of being able to just reach, hopefully, all of these. Oh no, I'll probably have to move the rear ones. The quad steer is really small, not like Puppy Master's other trucks. Quad steer. Name rings a bell, I can't. But either way, yeah, that's like, if the Heavy Wrecker was, say, little to no memory being used, then I'd have that on now, like, permanently. I did have it on permanently for ages, it was just eventually, like, with all the later mods coming out, yeah, there just wasn't enough room. And like I said, I've still got the mod itself downloaded, and as and when I'll kind of get it back in the game, but I'll just have to delete. I don't know, like Kenny, for example. I have to delete that back. I'd have to delete this thing again. This P16 and all that, like I said, Fox's mods, I believe the Bartelby ones and the JB ones, they'd be alright to leave. It's the same with those Mustang trucks, or the Mustang pack. I really like that as well. It's had some really good logging cranes on it and all sorts, but that takes a lot of memory. Which, for whatever reason, they've now limited. Which I know some people, I believe, were having crashing issues, and that's why they limited it, but I don't know, I wasn't. I don't mean that to be sort of selfish, like put limits on some operating systems or whatever, but I reckon I could fit some more. That's not what she said. Done, so hang on, something's missing, isn't it? Oh no, I was looking the other way around, yeah. 2 concrete slabs. Thought that trailer was going to go again. Yeah, let's get a bit of daylight. It's crashing after around 15 mods, but size is less the problem. Yeah, sometimes, I'm not saying this is this mod, but is it the like M181 mods? Early on at least, a couple of their mods, there was a Club one and something else, just kept making my game blue screen. But I don't know, it was just one of them where it was like their mods didn't seem to gel well, and I have used their mods since and I've not had it blue screen, and I've not used the ones that did make it blue screen, but I believe a lot of people were in the comments at the time saying, oh yeah, try this, it's a good truck, and they were, like I tried them and they were good. Because they kept blue screen and I kept losing my footage of like when I was trying to do missions with them and stuff, so I bet for some people some mods are just, I don't know, they just don't gel well with whatever operating system you're on and all the rest of it. And that's why I don't mind some bugs in games, because again, compared to back in the day when like they sold GoldenEye then on the Nintendo 64, it had to work on the Nintendo 64 and that's it. There's no, you know, like, oh, version, well, unless they updated the Nintendo 64, but generally there's going to be 1 or 2 versions then tops of the Nintendo, and that's it. These days it's got to work on like PC, PlayStation, Xbox, now they've done it on the Switch, but then you've got like, some people have updated their PlayStation, some people haven't, so you've got all like varying different software update versions per console and all the rest of it, so probably gets a bit more manic than it used to be. Have you heard the 6 US states western? I assume is there more of that sentence? What's this truck? 10OT21. It's yeah, one of the mods. I went through the list earlier and I was looking like what sort of new mods have they got, and yeah, this was one of them. Well, we'll see how well it does through ice. To be fair, I could go low range diffs on. That's the point though, it's not got the diffs on always, which will hamper it a little bit, but to be fair, it's not been doing too bad. I suppose those little bits where I've been bogging down in the mud and that, yeah, diffs always on. Not gonna lie, is usually my preference. This truck is right side tippy. Oh, is it? Yeah, cheers man, it's interesting. It, yeah, lines up pretty well with what I've been experiencing tonight, to be fair. I think it was the right side it's tipped. Well, except when I overcooked it going out the garage, but that's fair enough. Thorgrim Harrison, hello. Do you think there will ever be amphibious vehicles in SnowRunner? I don't know. They should do. I don't really see what the It's not going to break the game, particularly if they make it so you can't have a cargo at the same time. And worst case, who cares if you could? Like, this is to the point where, you know, we've paid our money for the game. Who gives a shit what we do with it by now? So yeah, I hope they add an amphibious vehicle. I mean, Tatrin, that in real life, at least some versions of them are amphibious. It's supposed to float, and you can see at the back like a little plate cover thing. I believe on some of the versions, you can have a little propeller sticking out the back there. And obviously the Tatrin, in respect to this game, would be the perfect one to do the amphibious thing, because it doesn't even let you have trailers, so it's not like... you wouldn't break the game if we were able to travel across water anyway. There's not many situations where it'd be an advantage just to drive across water. I mean, we've got bridges over the vast majority of parts where it makes sense. So yeah, it'd certainly be cool if they added it. I mean, you could argue, like, in the mods, there's that massive boat mod thing that's also drivable. So I suppose that is an amphibious vehicle. It's massive though, it can barely fit in the garage. Trying to drive it out of the garages and that, it's a bit awkward and all the rest of it. But I did take me Loaf to go and see the lighthouse in White Valley with that thing. Okay, Eastern Blue +5 West. I'm not sure what you're on about, dude. You're saying something about the, like, the states. Of course, building high efficiency, nuclear, fusion... Oh, sorry. Jumped. Oh, is that... Salt 2 reactors. Oh, I've seen, was it China or something that were making, is it molten thorium salt reactors or something? Some trucks like the Yar already float. Yeah, they float, yeah. It's a shame they didn't, even if you could have like paddle sort of wheels and it could kind of swim a little bit, it'd be pretty cool, but once it floats you're absolutely just dead in the water. It's not terrible, so it's my favourite or whatever, but it's not bad. So it's just bricks now, isn't it? Yeah. So, first question. It's a sandbox game, let us play. Yeah, exactly, like, let us go mental if that's what keeps people busy and playing, like, who cares? So there'll always be some people going, oh, that's not right, and that doesn't suit the game. It's like, well then don't use it. No one's twisting anyone's arm to do it. So like, you see it a lot with, say, like World of Tanks Blitz, where if they add a tank that's not a real tank, and they're not my thing either, I don't like the fake tanks particularly, but you see people going mad, going, oh god, I'm going to quit the game if they add another fake tank, and it's like, well then just don't play the fake tank. No one's making you do it. If you don't like seeing them, focus them, shoot them first. But yeah, some people lose their shit over what other people might be able to enjoy within a game. Like, my vote would be just add everything. Even if I don't like it, who cares? Someone might. Aussie man, most West state. The most western state would be California, wouldn't it? Or no, it'd count as Alaska, wouldn't it? Because that's got like kind of right at the top all little patches going off and that. Aussie man missing chunks of combo. Yeah, that's the thing. I try and read it as much as I can, but I've still got to kind of look where I'm driving as well. 4 bricks, what do we want? Could take the old iceberg. Do enjoy a bit of iceberg, not going to lie. But you know what? we'll take this only because the first week I used this, I had that weird gearbox bug, and it was kind of a bit unfair on this truck because it made it look like it was struggling a bit. Yeah, shit, I do want a sideboard though. Oh yeah, can I have a sideboard and a trailer? Should be able to, but okay, 6 states banning sales of gaming PCs, can't even mail order them from that energy, so build nuclear reactors instead. Yeah, it's a bunch of bullshit. They'll be banging on about this climate change bollocks for the next... I don't know, that'll be their new thing now. Well, new thing, they've been banging on about it for a few years, but what was it, like I said, in the 70s it was global cooling, sort of late 80s, 90s and all that was, not just global warming, that was like, oh, ozone layer. Now it would be global warming. It's like all these floods we had recently. They're obviously going, oh, climate change. Well, it's actually not. There's like a phenomenon with the moon that goes through a cycle every 18.6 years. It lines up like pretty close with the sun, us, and the moon, and the tides and everything get like a bit mad, and there's a pretty increased risk of flooding. And I can't remember if I've told you this on the stream or not, but years ago, and it turns out it was 18.6 years ago, where we were playing on the beach. I used to live in like East Yorkshire, and we were at the beach. And there was like it just said something to do with the moon. There's a storm coming, and for like 5 days, the weather will be insane. The waves will be really high. The tide will be extra high. And like on the 3rd day, sort of the middle of the storm, will be the worst. And we went down there that day, and the waves were like 30, 35, I'd say there was a couple of 40-footer waves in there, and it smashed the cliff to pieces and all sorts. And yeah, it was cool, it was dangerous, all the rest of it. And yeah, that's what it was like. And I remember back then it caused a lot of flooding in various places and all sorts. Obviously now it's happened, they don't mention a thing about this moon cycle. They just go, oh, global warming. So that'll be the, yeah, the bandwagon we get to hear for the next 20 or 30 years until they find some other way to scare the shit out of everyone. I'm constantly crashing in SnowRunner because I'm distracted watching SnowRunner drive on his stream. To be honest, I, even when I'm driving, like, 10 to 20% of the time max I'm actually looking where I'm going, let alone on stream. On stream I'm looking where I'm going like 5% of the time. I'm trying to read the comments. See again, this crane, just it can't even lift the loaf there. Such a sad state of affairs. Yeah, I spend very, very little time looking where I'm going. Who needs to look where you're going? But again, the views in this game are pretty good. I find myself quite often, as I'm driving past a nice view, I'll have a little look. What is Greta Thunberg's take on gaming PCs? Better yet, who gives a shit exactly? Like, how dare you? Yeah, banning gaming PCs, I mean, that's one of the most retarded things I've ever heard. Like I say, they're running, especially when it comes from the government. Like say they tell me to use an energy-saving light bulb, and it's like, oh, or like, what's it, Elon Musk the other week saying, oh, he's something to do with Bitcoin because it's environmentally unfriendly because of the computers that mine it, I assume. Yeah, and it's like, oh, yeah, you're the guy that's launching cars and into space and flying shit to Mars and testing your rockets. Like, seems like you're really really concerned there. And then you tell me to use an energy-saving light bulb, like, go suck a dick. I'm gonna find the fattest, greediest light bulb I can, out of principle. Like, I officially like the old, wasteful bulbs more just because I'm told I'm not allowed them, or well, I'm still allowed them, but I'm told I shouldn't use them. It's like, yeah, I'll buy a fucking pack of 2 now. and I'll throw the other one at that polar bear. Not here, we are on fire and a lot in BC, Canada. Yeah, you definitely don't want to be on fire. Does Canada get on fire often? I can't really... oh yeah, well, I was going to say, where the hell am I going? Because I remembered when I did. A dirt trailer. Oh, we didn't steal that one, did we? It was on the normal playthrough. Panicked for a second, thought the farmer had gone and got his Zix back. Like, you what? Tell him, Loaf. It's all good, we'll steal it later. Yeah, I know places like Australia get a lot of bushfires, but you see, there's other things though. Like with bushfires, and this is, I know America's will be the case, to be fair. I suppose Canada, like, not to just group you in, but you're talking like California forest fires, and it's not insanely far away, so I could imagine this being a similar scenario in Canada. They used to do, like, is it called backburning and all this, where they'd like do little controlled burns, keep on top of all the sort of loose dry brush and whatever, so that when a fire happened it was semi-controllable already. So then, because of environmentalism, people saying, oh, save the environment, they banned backburning and all that stuff, and then when there is a fire, it goes absolutely insane because it hasn't got all these little, like, channels cut out that kind of break it up in sections, or, you know, they've removed a lot of the stuff that helps the flames just rush down a hillside, etc. Yeah, and then they go, oh look, this fire was the biggest because of global warming, and it's like, no, it's because a bunch of tree huggers stopped firemen doing the obvious, sensible thing. So it all gets engineered, and they just tell you the little bits that they want. Which, like I say, yeah, most people get called conspiracy theorists. But now look, you've got these COVID passports, like have or have not the tin hat wearing conspiracy theorists, in quotation marks, been saying they're going to try and basically chip everyone and get everybody on rate. Like, you got to have some kind of, yeah. In Russia, they've already got COVID tattoos. Obviously, I believe you can you can choose to get the tattoo. It's not mandatory at this point. But the COVID vaccines, that's how they'll start. Oh, you want to go in this shop? Not unless you've got this. It has been here in Oklahoma to Andrew. What's that with? So these bushfires. It was 115 degrees Fahrenheit here in the first week of June. It was bloody hot here for the, like a couple of weeks ago. And then now, thankfully actually, yesterday and today have been like pretty nice and cool. It's probably, I don't know, 15 odd degrees now at night, like at 3, 4 in the morning or whatever, which is pretty good. In the day, probably mid-20s. It's about pretty nice and juicy. I like it around that. It's when it starts getting high 20s and above. Especially, I don't know, in England, it always, most of the time, that's followed like with fairly high humidity for that kind of heat. I live in Arizona. Forest fires are a tragically common way of life. Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's plants that exist. Like, I know I live in Australia that literally need forest fires to, you know, keep going. Like, after a fire goes past, that's when they drop their seeds, and that's like the only way they sort of drop their seeds. And obviously, competitive wise, it's clever because everything else has just been burnt by fire, so it's got like free reign. But yeah, it's little pod things are designed to be burnt, and then after it all burnt and whatever, it sort of cracks open and seeds are away. So it is a part of life, and it's extremely sad, like especially in Australia where they had them ones where obviously a ridiculous amount of animals got killed. However, not only in that same week did they arrest 39 arsonists that were so-called tree-loving environmentalists, etc., that were starting fires, but it turns out a lot of what caused a lot of animals to die in Australia was fences had been put up along roads to stop stuff like, you know, kangaroos jumping on the roads. But then when the forest fires hit, all those animals suddenly got to the point where they got to the fences, and they couldn't get past the fences, just to cross the road essentially, and then carry on running away. Like, in theory, a lot of those animals could have survived if it were not for the fences, which I believe they've now had a bit of a serious think about just removing those fences, because, yeah, some kangaroos are going to spring onto the road and get hit by cars and stuff, but obviously when it came to a forest fire, it absolutely sort of decimated the animals, which is yeah, pretty terrible. When was the last time SoCal had winters at below 40 below zero? I have no idea, but it's like when I was a kid, we used to have a lot more kind of winter was winter and summer was summer. So in the winter you had snow. My birthday is on the 24th of November, and I remember as a kid when I was like, I don't know, 8-ish as a rough stab in the dark, I was having like a party over mine, and there was only like 1 or 2 people that made it because it was really snowy. And the only, in fact, I think it was one guy that made it, a guy called Harry, who was in the class, and yeah, his mum and dad had a Range Rover. They were pretty sort of minted even back then. Yeah, because they had a 4x4, they made it. Everyone else who had sort of normal cars. So we lived like in the middle of nowhere really as well, so the roads to get to my house were like, they wouldn't have been gritted or snow ploughed, nothing like that. But again though, with like, when you look into it, this is all like, I'm not trying to start, deny, or otherwise conspiracy theories or whatever. It's just like, once you actually read into it, which I find all this stuff pretty interesting, so I like to just look into it anyway. Yeah, you've got like such cycles with a moon where it's just every 18.6 years, with the way it all rotates and all the rest of it, it lines up and it causes extremely high tides and a lot of flooding, and that's what's just happened in the last week or two. And then you get sun cycles, like, there's a few different ones, but one of them is an 11-year cycle. And then you have like, yeah, slightly bigger ones, but again, this was all, if you bear in mind that this was all discovered and recorded, say 100 years ago, and they already predicted 100 years ago that we'd be exactly what we're experiencing now would be happening. Like, that's not a conspiracy theory, that's somebody 100 years ago that did the research and said this will be happening in the next 100 years, and it is, so it's nothing to freak out about. Like I said, what I find pretty incredible really, like when we're talking about, say, CO2 levels and stuff we were the other week, to give you an idea of how little CO2 there is in the atmosphere, for every molecule, I'll have to do it in 10,000, not 1,000, but obviously in the atmosphere they measure it in parts per million, but instead of doing a million, imagine we call it parts per 10,000. So there's roughly 20% oxygen in the atmosphere, so imagine out of a big jar that had 10,000 marbles in it, and you've got each colour, like you put blue marbles in for oxygen, there'd be 2,000 marbles, there'd be 6,000 or 7,000 marbles would be like nitrogen and stuff. CO2, there'd be 4 marbles out of 10,000. That's how much percentage of the, yeah, like of the air we breathe is CO2. By comparison, we've got 2,000 marbles of air, of oxygen. Plants have 4 marbles of CO2. So it's nothing. And like I said, if it goes a tiny little bit less, we all die anyway, because plants will stop reproducing, and yeah, we eat a lot of plants that reproduce, corn, etc, etc, etc. So I'd be far more worried about the atmosphere dropping 100 or 200 parts per million of CO2 than gaining 1,000 CO2. It ain't going to make sod all difference to us. But that's what I mean, they start saying, oh, we're pumping more CO2 into the atmosphere, and it's like, if you look at the grand cycle of things, CO2 goes up and down throughout the thousands and hundreds of thousands of years. We got to a point 100 odd years ago where it was at 300. Like I said, that's barely more than can support plants. And that causes something within the globe. Now we've got ice caps melting a bit, and that releases CO2. But then other parts of ice caps are gaining ice, and overall they're gaining ice, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, it's like, it's just a big cycle with the Earth. Like, we'll be long dead before it ever happens, but I assume in thousands of years, CO2 will rise and keep rising, and then it might get to 1,000, 2,000 parts per million. And then some, you know, just the cycle of it, it'll start reducing again, it'll go back down to 300. That'll trigger something else. It'll start rising again. When was the last time? Oh, we're still on that one. Never. California has stated that by 2035, gas vehicles will be illegal in their state, EV only, by 2035. So what's that? 14 odd years away. So which bloody way round am I? Oh yes, I want to go across there. It's not too bad. Oh, I could have cut across the water really, but sod it. Go through the farm. Yeah, it's not that long way really, is it? What they tried banning here quite quickly, considering something pretty crazy. But yeah, I mean, like I say, basically, for the most part, it's just a big fat con. Yeah, if they make everybody think they're going to die, if they don't solve global warming and blah blah, it just makes people be like, oh shit, let's throw me tax money at them and yeah, hope they fix it. But like I said, when what's that guy's name? I forgot it again. Who did the Inconvenient Truth? When he sells his beach house that's right on the beach that he said was going to be underwater in 10 years, yeah. Oh yeah, I never thought these ice things would kind of jump out and start flicking the bridge around. But again, these bridges definitely make life a lot easier. And that does feel more sort of natural in a good way, like it's fun, but built a bridge there. It's my win, I took the time. Zero carbon emissions would require all plant life and animals die. Turn off every Earth's core, no more volcanoes. Well, that's the thing, like, I should be more concerned, not that I am concerned about it, but if the Yellowstone volcano went off in America, like, that's going to be closer to an extinction level event. I don't will become extinct. It won't do good for America. You guys certainly won't be doing very well. But it'll mess shit up all around the planet for decades, if not hundreds of years. Yeah, CO2 going up by 100 parts per million, like I said, other than things that fruit and vegetables will be slightly bigger than they used to be, which, as far as I can tell, isn't an issue. That's why we grow them in the first place, to produce like a certain amount of mass of them. So yeah, nothing's going to happen. Like, zero emission thing is stupid anyway, because the countries that put out more waste than like all of us combined are like China, India, the Philippines. The Philippines probably not like industrial, that kind of thing, but they pollute a lot of like plastic and all sorts. They just fling it in the ocean and whatnot. China's obviously the biggest by quite a long way. India's a biggie, particularly because they've got a massive population, so obviously it adds up. So yeah, China and India alone pump out more shit than like the entire like Europe and America's combined. So I'm not going to sit there using a fucking 20-watt light bulb trying to read a book whilst China and all the rest of it are just zero shits to give, going flat out, pumping CO2 out left, right and centre. And that's why, like, yeah, I remember all that fuss when Trump pulled out that Paris Agreement, but he was right too, because he said, why the fuck are we all trying to achieve these stupid targets when countries like China don't even have to, like, well, they were in the agreement, but they were basically, the agreement's like, yeah, you can do what you want until 2050. And it's like, you're just giving them a competitive advantage in the market, because now they can build things with no CO2 limits, whereas our countries have all just said, oh no, you know, you can't, you gotta manufacture that in a more expensive but more environmental way, whereas China can just go, oh, child labour, pump out CO2, and they can manage, like, you've given them an even bigger competitive advantage. And he was right. Sold his media company to Al Jazeera, paid for by oil. It's usually the way, a lot of stuff gets paid for by oil, I know that. 69 watt light bulb for the win. Exactly. I'd consider that. Now you've got me interested. I mean, to be fair, well, LED light bulbs these days, innit, I think are, they seem a bit expensive. I've not got any, but to be honest, thankfully, when I rented this flat, it already had light bulbs, but they must be like halogen. They're not just like the old school light bulbs. They've got like almost like another little bulb inside, but again, it ain't LED either. And yeah, they last pretty bloody long, so I haven't had to change them. And then in the kitchen, they are like little halogen or LED or whatever. So is the UK laughing at us American because of all the BS going on over here? Well, not to be harsh, but let's just be honest. Biden looks like a demented granddad that someone's accidentally left in charge in like the most powerful position on the planet. It is a little bit like watching sucking air through my teeth. I think the world is like, god damn, didn't he eat something that was stuck to his chin the other day? Or yesterday, or wherever it was. Like, it just, I don't know. He ain't helping the situation. Optics-wise. Obviously the media's covering for him left, right and centre, but yeah. It don't look good. There's only so long and so much you can cover for someone that's just mumbling along. Doesn't know what the hell they're on about half the time. I mean, put it this way, if the media even judged him 10% as harshly as they did Trump, he'd be just eaten for breakfast by the media. And again, that's not even politics side, this, that, or otherwise. It's just as a person, like, he should not be doing what he's doing. What's this truck? What one was it we were using in the... Oh, is it Bartelby's Goliath? Like, it's a Zix 605R, but it's the Bartelby... I believe it's called, like, Bartelby's Goliath. Elder abuse. Yeah, I mean, it is really, isn't it? They obviously just wanted a throwaway person. I'm just going to say it because it's true. It was rigged to fuck. And they needed someone just to chuck in there. I'm going to go out on a very short limb and assume he's not actually in charge. There'll be people pulling the strings from behind the scenes. Which, whether it's him or not, I mean, I think that's the case in a lot of things. Bricks, yeah, so we just want to go, so I can get rid of that line. Oh, so it's pretty simple. Down to there. Bricks, and then done. What, we're nearly at 2 hours. I want to do a bit of logging with Kenny Loggins. It'd be rude not to. Got to enter that lumber zone, but yeah. I don't know, 2.5, 3 hour stream, probably go for about that today. The wonders there going on there. I don't know. I can't remember it. I mean, they don't look like chain, but I don't know if they're like programmed just to have the chain. So I am late joining. How's it been going? Yeah, I'm good. Nick the Knob. How you doing, dude? Good. Cheers for joining us. Nobody wants Camel Toe as president. The funny thing is, like, she is basically the only reason the entire world is collectively praying that Biden doesn't die. And I mean, not in a, like, people I don't like never bother me this much, like, that I'd say, oh, I want Biden to die. Like, I couldn't give a shit about him. I think by now he's just old and demented or whatever, but whatever, some people like him, that's cool. That's not for me to say otherwise. Yeah, but it just... A demented old man is funnier still than, yeah. Kamala, just, I don't know. She reminds me a little bit like Clinton, just pure snake. Like all the stuff she's already lied about, and she's just petty and cringe. You know when like she said she graduated college and she's like, yeah, I was listening to Snoop Dogg smoking some weed, and it was like when she graduated, not Snoop Dogg, Tupac, sorry, and yeah, when she graduated, Tupac wasn't even out yet. So it's like just little things like that. It's just fakeness, you know. It's classic politician fakeness. Like she is an absolute carbon copy, printed off the same machine politician who just smile and lie to your face without any conscience or shits to give. SnowRunner, have you tried the large crane on the Tenno? Yeah, we were trying that earlier. It's well, it's good. It's the Tenno thing itself, it's had a little bit tippy, particularly with that on, but I like it. I like the look of it as well, for what it's worth. Like it looks like it sits very nice and flush on the vehicle, and yeah. To be honest, in a minute, for the hell of it, we'll try it in the yard, just on flat ground. So we'll forget the tippiness, let the legs spread. We'll let the legs spread. And yeah, we'll just give it a... I'll try and lift a truck, just to see, like... Obviously the normal cranes ain't got a chance in hell of lifting the truck. I probably should have gone between these, actually. It's not going to go well. Why did I do it to myself? Well, now we're gonna have to. Now we're gonna have to touch. Oh wait, oh, it's not saying pack. Oh, there is a way, maybe. I don't know. Is it worth it? Oh no, remove cargo. Sometimes I've had it before where it's sat like that, and I can click pack. It's not offering it me. Could try and nudge it with this. The only thing is, I don't really fancy flicking back 4 times. That's what she said. She certainly did. No. Again, I could winch that lamppost over there. I could do it with a loaf. It's been in videos. We all know he's a goddamn horse. Where did I oh no, wait there. That thing's here, isn't it? That's the thing. Tampon. Fact. We'll try that in a minute, but might get Kenny for this one. Probably going to be quicker. Off like a few foot away as well. That's why it's nice to have a little crane normally tucked away, but probably remove that first. Was I just not paying attention? Does this thing have a big crane? No. Beast. I think I was airborne for more than I was planning on. We've got a head how it's alleged she did around here. Yeah, didn't she shag that guy? Can't remember his name. Is his name Willie Brown? Or is my mind just like, imagine how funny it would be if his name was Willie Brown? Squeeze along the edge here, normally, yeah, you can still maintain a better speed than crawling at 0.1 mile an hour. Loaf. This is goddamn professional. That we do know. Shadow watches videos and you will have your answer. Sorry, I might have missed, did you ask, like, something? Where am I going again? Oh yeah. No, bridges out, and let's go up to that one then. Hi Dreamin', hey SnowRunner, missed you this week. Yeah, like I say, I've been just sort of sorting things out. The good thing is though, once I'm done kind of sorting my entire house out, I'll feel a lot better and I'll kind of have, I don't know, get stuck into like another year of doing this. And next year I'll probably attempt another little tidy up. But yeah, it kind of feels like if I get that knocked back off the list, then it's not something niggling away. So like I said, normal service will resume pretty soon, preferably when Phase 5 drops. Well, when Phase 5 drops, like I say, we'll definitely be going like fully back to normal. I might as well just go this way. Shadow, I'll watch the stream first. Sorry, I didn't see what it was you wanted to know, dude. Willie Brown. I don't know if that was his name or not, or if I just, like I said, it'd be funny if that was his name. I don't know why, but it just would. His name Willie, I don't need to explain it. But yeah, what we got our own clowns over here, haven't we? Boris Johnson. Well, I'm not a fan of him, certainly not. Not a fan of any of them. But, I don't know. David Cameron was just too much of a smarmy little posh twat. Just automatically dislike him for that. So, I suppose it's a start. For the most part, like I say, I ignore them. It does my head in. They send me a letter every year saying, oh, you were eligible to vote and all this shit. It's like, oh, you fuck off. Asking me once a year is too much. Someone back saying, the question is not am I eligible to vote, the question should be, do I give one tiny little shiny shit about voting? That drive just for this little bloody doing that. Feel the realism, boys and girls. Actually, to be fair, although I'm taking the piss, it's probably one of the more realistic aspects of the game. You would have to drive a crane down there and do that. I'm going to say, Trailer, I'm determined now that I am going to just climb over it. Yay, 17 grand. That'll go nicely with the 50 million odd I've already got. Right, so we want to recover this thing. Give it a quick test for the old crane. And it's got like those two which you can do on the front of the back. So we'll get one in a minute as well. I'll have a quick go with this little crane. It'll be interesting to see if that's actually... Yeah, like I like how flush and everything this sits. It sits very nice and compact, but... Oh, it's probably a pretty good... What are the legs like? Oh, yeah. That's not bad, they sit pretty wide, and the way they are, like, sort of an A-frame almost instead, that's a pretty good angle to be. Is that loaf packed? Because if it is, yeah, I should be able to lift like both of them at the same time. Fully extended crane. The little loaf, goddamn professional. He's hanging on. He knows what needs to be done. Like Spider-Man. Swing it. I mean, it's thinking about tipping there, but all in all, I can't really complain because I am swinging it around, and we have got a loaf and a truck. Well, I mean, the fact that it can even lift these is like already happy. Yeah, no, that's pretty good. Like, I suppose it'd have to be a competition between this crane and the heavy wrecker. I've got a feeling, I don't know, like the heavy wrecker, you're gonna have to like do a lot to beat it, because the only thing that's ever didn't lift was one of those trains on, is it Greenwood's River or something? Yeah, well, yeah. That's that then. Let's go and try the little crane quickly. I don't expect the little crane to necessarily pick up that thing I just did. I mean, I'm going to try it. Best crane needs to be on. Sorry. Then just the back. Sorry, I missed some of that. Thinking about it, I don't. It's more the problem, like. I'm pretty certain it's going to lift a loaf if it was like very close to lifting that. Gonna try the yeah. Tipping won't be an issue. I lifted a P512 with it. Was that with the big one? Which is yeah, pretty. Again, like that's cool because that's it makes like when you have crashes, sort of rescuing, going in for the rescues, sort of fun again. I used to like doing rescues, and then yeah, the cranes just became shit to the point. It was like there isn't any point. Going to waste my time, and then what I need it to do it isn't going to do, and then I'm going to hit the recovery button. Well, I didn't hit the recovery button because of some kind of OCD. I'd go and get myself a goddamn horse or a vehicle, and that is part of and why he still has 100% success on his rescue rate. But yeah, yeah. So it can't quite pick them up, but get a goddamn horse. If it can pick this up, that's part A. If it can also hold it at full extension, then that's definitely good enough. Oh yeah, we didn't try the tractor. I might have a little whip around with the tractor, but to be honest, I don't think there's a whole lot we're going to be doing with the tractor anyway. Looks pretty cool though. Looks. Slow Wolf, when do we get a fluffy face reveal? I'm not sure, to be honest with that. I wouldn't expect it any time, like, in the coming weeks or something. Or for the cat. Lift the loaf, which is a good start. Kinda, yeah, this is the thing, it's like... yeah, it just pulls the crane down. It's a little bit better than the normal crane, I don't know. Nah, well, nah, I call it about the same. I mean, it can at least lift the loaf half the time. Yeah, the little ones can't even do that, but they have different... I don't know, sometimes they work a bit better, sometimes they don't. But best case scenario, this is like the little cranes can probably manage that. Right, so what was next? Oh yeah, I hope I unlocked a login mission. Oh, well, it's 6 logs. I don't necessarily have to do all 6. But I want to take any logins. Is he like join the Third Reich or something? Swearing his allegiance to Hitler. Have to get him login before he goes mad. Starts trying to invade France. See, there is like that log carrier. I think that one looks pretty good. I believe it is a medium log carrier. Best be. That's the one I need. Mr. Lone Wolf, what's your day job? Well, it was a night job mainly, but I haven't done it for a while because of the whole COVID thing. Doing login trailer, like road markings and stuff. Well, again, it was like road marking, you know, like the white lines and stuff in the middle of the roads. But it was a small little company, so it's rare. Well, I've never done roads. Like, it's not more like car parks. Yeah, we'll get a goddamn horse with us. Oh wait, I wonder if I could fit a horse in that little gap there. We need to know. Yeah, so yeah, just working with a mate doing like that. But I don't actually do the road markings. I was just sorting the boilers out and the paint. It's not actually paint. It's thermoplastic, but everyone just calls it paint. But yeah, with the whole COVID thing, obviously people going on lockdown and all sorts, kind of worked out around the time really when this game came out, which was between that situation and I don't know, I suppose, like, considering the size of my channel anyway, the views and everything, like, went pretty bloody well. So yeah, I started kind of putting some of the time and effort, well, a lot of the time and effort, in fact, pretty much all of it, into this for a bit. But yeah, it's getting to that point now. Lockdown's pretty much coming to an end, so we'll have to see what happens, really. I'd like to keep doing this, but strictly speaking, at the minute, it's certainly not going to pay the bills at the minute. But I enjoy doing it, so it's certainly not going to pay the bills overnight, even if I did monetize it or whatever. But it could make those two things meet a little bit closer. It'd be a start, because otherwise, like I said, I won't really be able to do this sort of full time. And we can pack it, that'll do. Room for a horse, that's all we needed. Oh, sorry, horse. Broke his face off. Oh yeah, login. Kenny Loggins, where are we going? There's a goddamn train in the way. That would have been a nice little shortcut, not gonna lie. Could we rally up there? Not really. So we'll just have to go around. To be fair, I'm curious if I can drive up this way, or if it's going to be some slippy bank that I can only go down. Go that way. Right, I guess you'd have to do that work at night. Mainly, mate, I mean, obviously, there's plenty that could be done in the day. I think it's some of the bigger companies that do actual roads. A lot of them can work in the day and do, because it might be like a whole road section that, you know, they're building that's like a brand new road that's not even been open yet. But yeah, for the most part, it sort of makes sense. I think the guy just prefers working at night. I prefer working at night. It suits me perfectly because of the don't do it to me. Yeah, it suits me well. And the nice thing for it, at least For me, it was like pretty good money for the amount of hours and stuff, but part of it is obviously like pretty short notice at night, which suits me fine anyway. But yeah, the money was pretty good for the amount of hours and stuff. Horse is building up. Stable if we get any more stuff there. Yeah, I plan to get those since they are free. Any suggested bought vehicles? Club, slow boron. Suggested bought vehicle. The Dolphin, well, the Azov, what's it called? 5139 or 5319 or whatever it is. Ooh, shit. Not even looking. I'm working nights right now. Like I said, generally, if I could, I'd prefer nights. I was going to say it depends doing what, but I don't know. It's pretty much anything I can think of, I'd probably rather do at night, to be honest. Hey, goddamn horse, back on his wheels. Just offer me the front, yes. Oh no. I'll do. Someone's that way. Yeah, I have to say, I do quite like this Kenny truck. Oh yeah, shit. One day. Probably get around to that landslide, but clearly it's not much of an issue. Don't forget to smash that like button for the sway one. I appreciate it, dude. Shh, don't tell my employer I'm here. That's what I think it's someone saying last week. They're getting paid to watch me play this. It's the way to do it. Mud. Remote drilling operations in Western Canada. But I have a fourth screen open watching this. That's pretty cool though, what, that remote drilling operations. See, something like that, in theory, I'd quite like as a job. I mean now, because I've got a cat, I can't really go away for weeks at a time, but kind of, yeah. In theory, I was open to the like having to go away for weeks, and then yeah, if it was night time and all the rest of it, like earn a nice bit of dough that way. My biggest problem when it comes to working is I get bored of like the same thing, and then I don't know, I kind of lose a lot of passion for that thing, and then it becomes like, God, I've got to go work again. I like it when you're like, oh cool, I've got to go work again. It never lasts long enough. Well again though, doing this like YouTube for example, I mean, it'd be a stretch to call it work as far as earnings go, but like that potentially one day could end up at that, like it's just say getting the channel going and all the rest of it. Yeah. Like tonight, for example, it's like, oh cool, I'm doing a live stream tonight, and it's like, sort of look forward to playing the game again, chatting to all you guys. Like, this is technically about as close as it's, yeah, to work, but it's good. What am I doing? Where the hell am I? I've just gone straight past and gone all the way down to here without logs. I was supposed to bring logs down here, wasn't I? Having too much of a good time with Kenny Loggins, that's the problem. Gladly smash at MLF right about now. I assume / hate you mean MILF. Don't want to be smashing a Mr. Lone Wolf. Just take your cat with you. True, the only thing is he's like absolutely petrified near enough of everything. Like, yeah, I'm the only person that he likes. He's a house cat as well. Because like I said, when I moved here, I lived like next to a road and all that, and the cat I had already liked going out, and I really wasn't keen on it. I mean, when I first let him out, he wouldn't go anywhere near the main road. But obviously, as they say, literally like curiosity killed the cat. A month or two later, he couldn't help it. He tried to cross the road and he got run over. So when my parents and that got me this cat, he's a house cat, so he never has to go out. But yeah, he's just absolutely petrified of everyone and everything. And honestly, it wouldn't amaze me if he had a heart attack if I stuck him in a box and took him out of the house. But even if he didn't have a heart attack, and I nearly did it again and just drove straight past. Yeah, I don't think it'd be particularly good for his health. I think he'd just like wouldn't handle it, wouldn't like it. As I said, even part of when I've been tidying, like sort of going through everything in my house, the amount of cardboard boxes that I've got that are bloody in. But he actually uses them. He likes hiding in them and stuff. He's like, I think he feels a bit safe when he's in a cardboard box and it's like in the corner and it looks like the flaps on it are shut, so you can't even tell he's in there and all sorts. He loves that. And to be fair, like, not that I'd be opposed to doing, like, going away, like I said, doing, like, night work, that sort of stuff. I do kind of like my own home and stuff as well, so I'm a bit of a hermit in my own right. Can't blame it all on him. But if the money was right, and let's say then I didn't have a cat, yeah, I'd, like, if I had to go away to, you think of, like, them oil rigging and stuff, it'd be interesting. I want to think by now, particularly because my knee is semi-fucked. Like, I don't think I'd be doing too well with, like, full-on manual labour stuff anymore. For extended periods of time as well. Like, I used to do, obviously, landscaping and all that. It depends what you were doing landscaping. I wouldn't survive too well doing a full day of, like, laying big, fat, heavy slabs. Just, it's more my knee that would worry me now if it just gives way at any second. So sort of like heavy manual labour where I've got to carry a lot of stuff wouldn't do my knee any favours. But then I wouldn't want to work in an office because other than the fact that I'd get bored shitless, I wouldn't enjoy that for very long at all. But I do get pretty bad backache if I just sit in a chair like that for ages, so that wouldn't do me very well. I mean, that was the nice thing with that line painting thing, really, because even though it's relatively short notice, like I said, working at night suits me, I'm up at night, yeah, it's just like pouring a few bags of shit into the boilers, making sure the boilers don't go bang, and that's about it. Spend a lot of time sitting in the cab, chatting away. Like, he could do the job on his own. I think the biggest bulk of the reason he brings me with him is because he's bored at night, and if it's like a 2-hour drive there, it's not always a 2-hour drive, but you know what I mean, it's like, I think he just brings me along so it's not as boring for him. And I assume, like, well, I sort of know the money he makes on it is pretty crazy, but obviously he's got a lorry that's kitted out specifically to the boilers and all the paint and all the rest of it. So yeah, he makes good money, I make good money considering the time and all the rest of it. And it works out pretty nicely, but yeah, the whole COVID thing kind of threw a big fat spanner in, I think for most people, to be honest, kind of unavoidable. Engine, oh no, let disconnect you for a minute. Oh, don't tell me you can't have them in the trailer. Trailer does not support this cargo. How? How does a medium... How does a medium log trailer? That's not even a mod, is it? It's like, I get that in the game. Oh well. I'm not going to do all 6. So we'll cut that trailer loose. That's a bit of a shame. Well, gotta be honest, I'm not that gutted, but still, it pissed me off if I was actually trying to do this mission properly. That's why I wanted to see if I could slide down here. I may as well leave the loaf there for a second, because I'll be back in a minute. Have you tried the packed trailer mod? The trailers have fuel and repair points. Packed trailer mod. I'm not sure. Oh, you can go down here then. Or so far, yeah, it was this little section. I was wondering if it was like going to be. I could get up there. Chain would be handy. I think I've got random on this anyway, but yeah, that's like you can go up and down there. PC, guys, I can explain. What's that? You're on PC. Learn to weld, good money doing that. True, it's something like, to a degree, I could see myself like enjoying welding as well. And not, I don't mean this like in a big-headed way at all, assuming that you put the time and effort and all the rest in, because I think I would enjoy it. I think there'd be the potential to get pretty decent at it, because it's actually something that I'd want to try and get decent at. But it'd be one of them where, still in the context of a job, like if you were just made some sort of job or sit and weld the same thing day in, day out every day, it'd get boring eventually. But if you were then, like, say, if I could weld, you could hopefully either go sort of self-employed with it and do it that way, or, I don't know, try and make things and sell them something to kind of mix it up a bit. But yeah, I mean, long-term plan, like, to be perfectly honest, my, I'd love to get, say, YouTube to a point where, even if it was barely scraping by, I wouldn't even mind that, as, like, yeah, essentially, a job. And that'd work out pretty nicely. Pretty nicely for me. YouTube just nice, because, as you've seen and heard along the way, my main issues, I suppose, now in life, I've got, like, a fucked knee, I get migraines here and there, and insomnia. Being up at night, to a degree, sorts the insomnia out. It's certainly not perfect by any stretch, but it's manageable enough. I might miss a night's sleep here and there a couple of times a week, but it'll make me more tired the next night or day, I suppose, and then I can go sleep a bit better and all the rest of it. Yeah, my knee, I can just sort of, as long as I'm not doing, like I said, full-on heavy manual labour where I'm carrying heavy shit all day, my knee should be able to survive that. And yeah, like, and migraines, so with YouTube I can kind of, it doesn't matter if I start early in the day, later in the day. I mean, worst case I can, you know, miss a day if I just feel ill all day with migraines or whatever. So it's certainly fit, like, yeah, around, and obviously manual labour wise it's like nothing, basically sitting there playing games and editing, so knee would be fine. Insomnia, it makes no difference either way. I'm sure my cat would appreciate it as well. My welding courses in my college course all virtual. Oh, is it? That's pretty cool. I always wore a respirator when welding, and I'm doing fine. Sure, I'd probably need one of them. Yeah, I genuinely do. I think welding would be pretty cool. I sort of, looking back, even with school, I was saying this to my, oh yeah, I've gone past that bloody log thing again. It's because I've never used this log factory, I just keep forgetting about it. Like, after I did school, I stayed on at school to do what we call over here your A-levels, and they call it sixth form. I don't know why, but they just call it sixth form. And I spent about a year and a half staying on. By the end of the year and a half, I was just sick and tired of, like, some of the teachers were doing my head in, and I was doing maths, chemistry, physics and business, which was a bit of a chunk to be doing anyway. And I had no ideas what I wanted to do when I was older and all the rest of it, so I was just doing them because it was like, well, I've been pretty decent at them so far, and yeah, I just got sick and tired of it, but yeah, like a lot of people, and well, this is where I think it's the smarter move, and I don't mean this to be harsh, but what they would say is the less smart. Like, the idea was, oh, if you're really smart, you stay on at school, and the people that didn't do so well, they'll go off to college and do some course. Well, it turns out that some course was, yeah, a welding course, a plumbing course, a bricklaying course, an electrician course, and it's like they all now have skills in them, which all I have is like an advanced, well, I've lost 99.9% of it because I haven't done it for years, but in theory I gained an advanced knowledge of maths. It's like, who gives a shit? I haven't had to use any of that since I left school. So yeah, basically I wish I'd gone and done like a welding course, plumbing, electrician, instead of staying on at school, because it was just a waste of my time. We'll get a couple of these done. I suppose I am yapping away for a minute, so it works out pretty nice. Wow, never seen any welders wear breathing protection. That's good then. True, to be fair, I can't say, I can't remember specifically if I've ever seen a welder wear sort of respirators or whatever. I'll be honest, I've never really, something I've ever paid attention to, but if it does the job. Like, because I've got asthma, it's, I wouldn't be asked about wearing a respirator, but if the fumes that come off it just happen to, it's one of those fumes that trigger my asthma and make my chest tight every time, then yeah, it'd probably be worth doing. I'd say though, Kenny Loggins, kind of just doing this sort of autopilot mode while I'm chatting away, so he's doing pretty well. He is suited to it. Boilers works well as residential, commercial, industrial workplace. Yeah, exactly, stuff like that. Like say bricklaying and stuff. I know how to lay bricks and that now, but I've never done a course on it. It was just when I did landscape gardening. My brother already knew how to lay bricks, and obviously he showed me how, and I've done plenty of it. So a lot of the stuff I know, like as far as landscaping goes, was self-taught really, but yeah. I just think overall, though, like the year and a half I spent at school, I didn't really gain much by it. Even business studies, really. Like, I was hoping it'd be a little bit more, at least, on like how to run your own business, but it wasn't. It was just going over a load of bollocks of like all the top businesses in the world and all the shit they have to do, and it's like, if I'm 16, 17. Coming up 18 and we're doing business studies, why do I need to know how McDonald's has to run? Like, I'm not gonna, the chances of me leaving here and starting the next McDonald's overnight and then being like, oh shit, it's a good job I did that business course in school so I know how to run a Fortune 500 company. So like, they should have taught us more like, you know, sole trader, smaller stuff that would make more sense. And that's what I thought it'd be more for setting your own business up, but it was just generic bollocks of like, yeah, what, like I said, the big companies are up to. There was some useful information there, to be fair, probably more overall than like, yeah, maths and everything. Nothing against maths, it's just I'd already learned, you know, how to add up and all the normal stuff, like the type of stuff you're getting taught at that level is, unless you're going to become a teacher and teach that stuff to everybody else, it just, you don't really need it. Knows how to lay bricks too. True, things like that. See, it's just like, again, I do know how to lay bricks, but I wouldn't exactly put an advert out now saying I'm a bricklayer or something. And it's not something I'd want to do like purely bricklaying as a full-time thing. But yeah, just let's say instead of going to sixth form, I did yeah, welder's course or whatever for a year and a half, or plumber's course. It's like you now have that to fall back on a little bit, fall back on more than, yeah, I can say, oh yeah, I did electron diffraction in physics in sixth form. It's like no one, well, most people don't know what electron diffraction is or give a shit, and yet for the most part you'll never need to know, so don't worry about it. And I wouldn't do it justice regurgitating it now. I can remember a bit of it, but that's what I mean. Because I never use it, it's like I forgot all this stuff. I think it's Albert Einstein who said education is what's left after you've forgot everything you learned at school. He's right. If they knew how to run a business, they would not be stuck teaching in college. True. But you'd think even just some of the basic theoretical thing. It's like, and this is a big thing, goes dangerously close to the whole conspiracy theory territory again, but why do they never teach you in school how to pay your taxes and manage money? And the truth is really because they don't want people to be able to manage their money very well. Suits them better when everyone's in debt and skint, but they teach you about, I don't know, the planets and, you know, all this stuff that is like you don't desperately need to know, kind of knowing the basics of money management and how to pay your bills and calculate, you know, just basic things that you'll be left with and all that. They never went over that at all. I had a teacher that enjoyed teaching. One day he brought a fat stack of bills in to show how rich he was. He didn't even claim his salary. Sure they weren't fake bills, and he was just probably trying to look like he's made it. Remind me, was Gordon Gekko an economics professor or a stock investment capital company CEO? I have no idea, to be honest. Well, I would have gone for stock investment. Still want to be able to invest in Mr. Lone Wolf's Cats Only fans. I'm sure he'd be happy to open an OnlyFans. And I've got to get a Loaf OnlyFans. See, I mean, I'm just yapping away in the background, but well, I dropped off 3 lots now, and it's still asking me to go and do this same repeat journey. I don't know why the medium trailer didn't work. That's it. Like, I would have been done now. Tammy Woodrum, hey, how's it going? Aussie Man Wall Street movie. Yeah, I don't even name Gordon Gekko. I was going to say, like, I would have said stock investment, but I just thought it's like, I don't know, is there going to be some weird little twist and he's actually in economics, something or other. I mean, to a degree, I'm not sitting here saying, oh, you know, invest. Obviously, you can lose your money, but the vast majority of rich people, no matter what, how they got rich, pretty much all of them do invest in shit. That's a pretty, I think, long term is kind of a pretty big guaranteed way to make money. Make money quicker than inflation, because this is the other sneaky thing, like, just the way life runs that they don't really tell you. Like, for example, you buy a house, let's say you buy a house for 100 grand, and they say, and then you live in it 10 years, whatever, and now they say, oh, your house is worth 120 grand. And you go, oh, that's great, I've made 20 grand on the house. But you haven't, your house is still worth 100 grand. The money in your hand is now worth less, so you need more of it to buy your house. So your house hasn't gone up to 120 grand, or if it has, it's irrelevant, because food's gone up 20%, everything's gone up 20% by then, to the point that you've still got your same 100 grand. Cool, they can call it 120 grand now. Look in places like is it Zimbabwe or something, where they've got like $100 billion note, because obviously inflation's just gone so insane that a loaf of bread is like 40 billion or something of whatever their denomination of currency is. But that's like the sneaky way around it. Like when they print money, if you have like, if your entire country's worth is $1 million, let's just keep it all simple. Let's just say your whole country is worth $1 million, and you have 1 million £1 notes in distribution. So that's why those notes are worth £1 or £1, whatever, you know, because your country's just perceived wealth is like, it's worth $1 million, there's 1 million notes, we'll call it £1 a note. If they print another 1 million notes, that country is still worth 1 million, but now there's 2 million notes. So each note has just gone from £1 to 50p. But you still hold the same note in your hand that says £1, but you will now just need 2 of them to buy something that used to cost £1. So again, you go back to like your house, and they go, oh yeah, your house is worth 20 grand more. It is, but it's not. It's just your money's worth less and you need more of it to buy the same thing, and it's just little sneaky things like that. Like that's them not just printing money, that's inflation, but part of that isn't helped when they print money, like they have been recently. Speaking of which, America, Biden's been printing it like it's going out of fashion. But it's little things like that that just they don't teach you, but it's like. And that, again, that's not to say houses are a bad investment. If you put £100 and just sat it under your pillow for 10 years, it's worth £100 in 10 years' time, but you ain't going to get the same as you could have got 10 years ago for £100, if you know what I mean. I mean, like, back in the 50s and that, houses were like, you know, 2, 3, 4 grand. Now, obviously, not in a million years are you going to get it that close. So people who invested in property 50 years ago I mean, overall, to be fair, property, I believe, from say the mid-90s to now, has probably gone up quicker than the rate of inflation, so you probably still would be better off. But I'm just saying, in the long term, like, that's when they say stuff like, oh, your house is going up, it is, but it ain't as simple as that. Like I said, the cost of food and everything's going up, and that's because your money is worth less. And that's obviously like America at the minute being a biggie that's printing a lot of money. If someone wanted to buy something off me and they offered me $1, I've got to... I mean, again, this is like small scale, you're talking businesses and corporations and countries. I've got to consider that dollar's going to be worth a little less each time they print more of them. And yeah, it's almost like, oh, I'd rather be paid in euros or pounds then, please, instead of $1, because... And again, I mean, it's a separate issue. We've printed some, Europe's printed some. I'm not saying we're better. But the crazy thing is, when you look into the law and all the rest of it, money, how the systems work, there's a lot of clever people who spent a lot of time tying all this bullshit up in a nice little bow that is quite, well, very difficult to deconstruct and sort of view as a whole. So they get away with quite a lot of stuff just because it's such a gigantic thing. You can't just have a quick look at it and sort it out. And in some ways, I'd say it's quite interesting, as much as it pisses me off. The powers that be have weaved a very impressive, intricate, corrupt, powerful web. Pretty goddamn efficiently as well. Do you do a separate playthrough as mods? Yeah, which is what I'm on now. Like, this is separate from my normal game, so these are like missions that I've either not done or I'm doing them again on this playthrough, which I think is quite good. I like it that way. Plus, if I ever had anything crash or anything like the mods bug the save file or anything like that, yeah, I've kind of got a separate file that's still a bit safer. Dragon Slayer 72, hello from Fort Bragg. NC, is that North Carolina? That'd be pretty cool. Is that like around, what was that I used to watch? Lizard Lip Towing. I used to love that. What was it? Bobby and I can't remember. I think it was Bobby. Well, not the guy. I think it was his mate. I can't remember the Lizard Lip Towing guy's name off the top of my head. That was pretty funny. Well, I think in the end it was all a bit staged, but back when we got it, it was pretty funny. Dave got it for us on like a DVD copy. Legal copy, of course. Could work as a teacher in Toronto in the 60s, paid £9 grand a year, house cost 12 grand, now jobs pay 50 grand, home cost 500. That's what, like, houses have took a big fat jump. I mean, my parents were, like, not even remotely on the property ladder when we were, like, kids in the 90s. We were in a council home. And then we moved up north because houses were cheaper up north, and that was the only way we could afford a house big enough for all of us. And they paid around 80, 90 grand for that house, and that was in like 2000 and around 2000, might have been 01 or something. House prices, relatively speaking, shot up in the next 5 or 10 years. And then they sold it, near enough doubled their money in not a lot of time. And in that sense, like, it, yeah, it was, like, property was a good investment. I'm not saying property is a bad investment, but you see what I'm saying, as in, like, there's sneakier layers to it than that. Like, you got to factor in how much they've devalued your money since then. I mean, to put it into perspective, houses back then cost 5 grand, now they're 500 grand. That's kind of how much they've devalued your money. Obviously there is other factors, so I know it's not just, you know, like 100 times factor. And that's why a lot of people invest in stuff like silver and gold, because that sort of, I think it usually goes up at least at the rate of inflation, probably, and then some in a lot of cases. But yeah, like if you bought £1,000 worth of silver 50 years ago, it'd probably be worth more than, obviously it'd be worth more than the grand is today, but even if you scale the money up to today's sort of standards. But yeah, I mean, that's what we were talking about, was investing. Like, I think rich people that come from all aspects, whether it is inherited wealth, they built it themselves, they're in the tech industry, they're in the mining industry, fuel industry, whatever it is, they all do seem to invest. But then I suppose if you've got billions sat around, why not? You've got to do something with it. It's only so long you can have a big money fight. What's the ETA for Phase 5? End of August. I believe somebody was saying last week it was the 24th of August. They seem pretty confident about that. I believe them. So that's kind of the date I've got in my head. Is yeah, the 24th of August. Oh, this was the last set of logs. To be honest, it's only because I've not really been paying attention to the mission, just chatting away. But yeah, I still like this. It would have helped if that trailer was working, but I don't really see the point in just driving back and forth all the time. It's a bit of a lazy way to extend the length of a mission. I'm curious by now though what I'll actually get paid for it. Because again, in theory, I mean, maybe I'll pick the wrong trailer, I don't know. Let's just say the trailer worked. Oh yeah, we'll bring a load for this one, because it's the last one. And then I also did a road train. I could take 4 logs in one go. Obviously with that not working for whatever reason. Puts a spanner in the works on that. Can't work out if this is like, yeah, is this a full mod? Obviously I appreciate like it's a mod, but I can't work out if it's like the International Transstar or What was the other one? Ford Clip 9000. Lizard Lick is out of Raleigh. Bragg is near, what's that, Fayetteville? About 60 miles southeast of them. That's pretty cool. That's pretty close in the scheme of things. 60 miles. Yeah, Raleigh, that's it. I remember that name because I don't know if you have them in America or not. Raleigh bicycles. It used to be the name you wanted when you was a kid. Well, not for BMXs and stuff like that, but for like a mountain bike or whatever. I like watching Lizard Lip back in the day though. There was a program I was watching the other day as well actually, it's pretty good, called Rust Valley Restorations or something. Some guy, it sounded, to be honest, they all have that Canadian twang I reckon to their accent, so I've got a feeling it might be, I'm guessing southern Canadian, near the border. I've got a feeling it'll be near the border to America. But yeah, that was pretty cool. Only 3 seasons though, it must have stopped because of COVID and everything. But yeah, North Carolina then, 60 miles, that's close enough. It'd be pretty cool. I'd like to live somewhere like that. Out in the middle of nowhere with just plenty of land. Then again, I was watching and listening to some have any of you ever heard the stuff on YouTube about like what either mountaineering people, but more like the mountain rescue people, with like odd stories they report, that stuff they've seen up in the mountains and that. Pretty bloody freaky, makes you think actually. Maybe I don't want to live in the middle of nowhere. Maybe where I am is just fine. Like I said, in England we're all pretty safe. Well, Great Britain they say the Loch Ness Monster. That doesn't seem to cause any trouble. Yeah, I mean, some of you guys got like Bigfoots walking around and all sorts. Don't know if I need a Bigfoot walking around my property. 15 grand. If you're able to road train it and get 4 out of 6 done, and then I suppose zip back like just half of your road train, so it isn't a road train, it'll be quicker. That's not. It's not amazing money, but considering how tight and stingy this game has been for payouts, that's actually not too bad. Well, why are you only going to go down once? Why will you not go down twice, remote? I'm going to have to smack. Got to increase that warranty. There we go. Yes. I'd like to do something other than a login mission now. Let's have a look. I'll do a quick little end mission maybe. If down on the D-pad can last long enough. Try and work out. So that's where I've got to take it. Oh no, got to drop it there. Oh what, so it's over here? Is it? So it is. Looks like a little shrub. Sod it, we'll do this one. I've already selected it, yes. Already got Kenny Loggins over here. Already got a goddamn horse. Get it, horse. Some monsters walk on 2 legs. There is a few things out there with footage of Bigfoot. It's like, I don't know, it wouldn't surprise me. When you consider as well, not that he's like, it means he's the be-all and end-all of it, but David Attenborough, who, to be fair, has spent a large portion of his life travelling the globe filming animals and etc. I think he said he reckons, like, they could be real as well. I mean, again, most videos I should imagine have been faked, but there's one or two. There's one on YouTube. I think it was on, there's only on Watch Nuke's Top 5, like ghost videos are pretty cool. But there's one with looked like a big bloody ape ripping a tree apart, and it's like, someone ain't in a suit faking that shit. That's ripping fucking chunks of tree out, and it's like, you can just hear from the sound of the wood breaking that, I don't know, that one seems pretty legit, to be honest. Like, that would be extremely hard to fake that well, because, like I said, the fact that he's breaking an actual tree, and it just looks like it ain't the easiest wood to snap, and all the rest of it. We don't have Bigfoot in Canada, we have Prime Minister Baked Potato. I must admit, Justin Trudeau is, yeah, not a lot to be proud of. Oh, press the wrong button. Good work. What on? It's in a reverse too close. I get him flipping up in there. Is that trailer attached, or is that just some sort of scenery? Yeah, it won't be attached. I hate it when it does that. Should leave the loaf here, sod it. I was going to winch him into the back, but it won't let me winch from the front of this truck to the back of the loaf anymore. It used to let you do it with everything, now, for whatever reason. Something else they changed. So I think I've killed him a little bit. He's all good though. Come on, D-pad. Just a little bit longer. I'm professional. I watch Nuke's ghost videos too. Yeah, they are pretty good to be honest, but I like them. And again, I know a lot of them will be fake, but every now and then there is one or two that it's like, well, that something about that had a bit of a legit feel to it. I think, like I said, it was on him, yeah, that... I think they were calling it a skunk ape, but I believe it's, like, kind of the same thing. But yeah, the way it was ripping that tree apart, I don't know, it did something about it seemed... certainly well done. If it was faked, like, fair play to them, they went all out. Oh, what was that, loaf? You're so close. Cheeky way, yes. Turn on the engine. It did cross my mind, but I don't like leaving a loaf behind. Vote People's Party. I don't know if it's just me again because I'm rusty, but I keep hitting handbrake and I ain't hearing that clickiness happen when it's supposed to be happening. Don't know why. Alright, handbrake. Yeah, was it Stalin said back in the day? Doesn't matter who It doesn't matter who casts the vote, like that. It matters who counts them. Well, if you ever want to witness the riggability of elections, I think America 2020 would be a pretty good place to start. Like the first time in history, they're like, oh, we're just closing the voting booth for a few hours. Opens back up, and there's like 500,000 votes everywhere. Have just been found at every single station. A little bit suspicious. So I might go rallying across here if I can. Oh, I don't know though. Well, I want to. I'm not so sure it's advisable. We're gonna find out. Where do we go over there? Okay. We'll get it done. More rocket debris in there. I hope they don't want this Don back in one piece. It's not on the description. Jacob's hat. I will not be voting for Quebecer. Don't even know who that is. What country are we talking about? I don't even know who it is to vote next time in my own country. Mainly because I just don't care. Unless, like I say, it's the same bollocks wrapped up in something different. It's usually two sides of the same coin. That's why it's sad in a way how divided it makes a lot of people, because it's like, surely we can all just agree that, for the most part, they're a bunch of lying little rats that line their own pockets, and that's about it. Most popular president ever. Yeah, what, among the dead? Arizona recently has kind of audited their vote counts, and it's pretty interesting results. There's not been anywhere on the news. I don't care where he lives, just his politics and principles. Yeah, exactly. And for the most part, it depends with, like, politics. Obviously, it'd worry me if someone's, like, desperately enamoured with some particular thing. But other than that, it's like, yeah, I don't give enough of a shit about it for it to, like, I do find an interest in it for my own personal self. Like, every now and then I like to research and look what's going on, but yeah, as far as like you say, someone, yeah, character and principles are much more important. Well, have a good night, and don't forget to thumb up Pipe Dreaming. I appreciate it, dude. Jane called Quebec equals Quebec. Ah, okay. Which, yeah, Quebec, Canada. Means a Quebecer, someone. Oh, right, I get what you mean. Kind of like if you were saying a New Yorker. Or a Londoner. What was it? A Quebec. You just say it like Quebecer. Cool. I've learned something new. Feel brainier already. Just felt a little strain in the back left of my brain. That must have been where it just grew a new little knowledge bump. I will cherish it. I appreciate it. Wayne Brown, see you next time, bro. I appreciate it. Cheers for joining us. Oh yeah, I should probably get out of low gear by now. Like I say, we'll call it a day after this because I need to drain the main vein among other things. Oh, go this way. Oh, well, 3 hours, bloody hell. It just made that last hour go pretty quick. It's probably when I was dicking around doing them logs, I suppose. these are concrete blocks, don't you see? Just naturally, without even thinking, avoided them concrete blocks, but only smash you up too bad. Turns out those rocks do that. Again, I hope mint condition was not on the logbook. Scored. Again, it's not ball in a cup. It's a car and a truck. But nearly scored one. That was close. Need a bit more winch length, really. RPM, winning the office. Its favourite country besides ours, China. Admires their basic dictatorship, simplicity of no opposition. Yeah, it's definitely pretty sketchy in China. So yeah, I believe he was rubbing shoulders with him. Oh, is that? Oh yeah, see? Car and a truck. $3 grand. I suppose it was any driver. Rally my way back to the garage and then we'll call it a day. Run over a boat if we can. Oh, a strong boat. God, boat ate my tyre. That's how strong that boat is. Boat don't take no shit from Kenny. God dang. What's your opinion about the bandit truck? Bandit truck? Is that like the... Oh yeah, the like the... Yeah, the bandit. I wanted to like it. I don't like it as much as the Dolphin. It's a little bit... It tips a bit too easily. It's got a very small fuel tank on it unless you put the roof rack on it, but then when you put the roof rack on it, it affects the speed and handling and tippiness. It's a pain in the ass to tip back to its wheels, because just the way it's weighted, it like, you'll drag it along on its side, it won't tip back to its wheels, it'll just keep dragging along on its side. Yeah. Not like, there is some people that love it in the comments, so, I don't know, kind of give it a go, but it could be better. I don't really know why it got punished as harshly as it did. There'd be nothing wrong with like it being a genuine competitor to the Dolphin or something, but in my personal opinion, I just think, yeah, I would take the Dolphin every time. Part of it's not just the Bandit's fault, it's got the custom muds, which I like the look of. They're not as good as they could be, the custom muds, and that's the same, like, not just for the Bandit. They're on a few other trucks now. Yeah, they're not as good as they could be. And again, that's a bit of a shame. Perfect way to end the stream. Incredible Hulk canoe wrestles Kenny to the ground. Canoe thing, I wasn't messing around. Boat tried to make Kenny its bitch. He nearly did. Good job the loaf was around. Probably had something to do with me breaking free. See? That little archway thing. I like it when you haven't got a trailer. Pretty nice little route to take. Oh no, I've got to go a bit further down. Where are you going to go this way? Because this will be the second time I've ever driven this way up to the garage. Normally I just rally my way up the hill. I think I did this way once when I first ever explored the map, and that's it. you seen Mod Dolphin can have a 3-slot sideboard? Oh, can it? That's pretty cool. Can it still fit a trailer and stuff on? Because that's the shame when they added the 3-slot to Bruce. Now with that 3-slot, yeah, you can't have a. Not only you can't have a crate, but you can't even have a trailer. So it's like it's a pretty expensive extra slot. Which costs you an entire trailer of like say a 4-slot ramped flatbed. You can tell I am a little bit tired. You can tell the more tired I am, the more I seem to A, talk bollocks, and B, sort of invent words and smash words together. Trying to just shorten the entire English language. Assuming if I stayed up for long enough, I could just let out like little chirps as opposed to be entire sentences. Try and shorten hello, it's SnowRunner to like, eh. That's it. You've got to be quick to hear it. Drifting. Oh, I couldn't handle it. Got it, he has. Question is, one down on the D-pad. I mean, what a goddamn professional. Don't even have to touch a button. See what I mean? That was live. You just watched a loaf. You know, like when you need to get up off a sofa and you sat a bit too deep in it and you have to do that little, like, flick your legs and get yourself up out of there. That's what the loaf just did. Just did the loaf version of that. It's a goddamn horse. I've been doing some missions with it and the Cat 745. I'd like to use the Cat 745 more. I used that to scout the whole map of White Valley, and it was slow but inevitable. It was kind of not bad. I could just aim it at the next watchtower, whatever. And yeah, again, slowly but surely it kind of headed that way. Yes, you can still attach trailers. That cool, not right, cheers, man. Yeah, that's pretty good, man. Especially with just, oh, the 3-slot. This trailer, that will remain a free-range trailer. I blame it completely. Definitely didn't overcook it when I was going around that corner. We're back. Honk the horn, crash into some people. The local little bullets. My work here is done. So at some point, see now, to test some other mods, I think, to be fair, this Kenny didn't actually take a crazy amount of memory. It definitely shows up, like, when you click it, you can see it jump up a little bit. But nowhere near to what the other Kennys did. That's what was making me think, has he, like, used either the Ford clip thing or the International TranStar as a base? Because, obviously, a fully custom truck, it tends to take more memory, which makes sense. The fact that this one takes such less, unless they've up... No, they can't, because I did look. The other Kennys still take a lot of memory. So, yeah, this one is actually as best as you're going to get as having a Kenny and still have room for like other mods. Bartelby's Goliath, yeah, that's good. We did try that the other week, and yeah, it's good, worth getting, definitely. This thing, I think this is pretty cool, to be honest. It is a little bit on the tippy side, but I do like the nose clearance on it. It's good. I quite like the look of it as well, to be honest. It sort of looks like 70s, but you know, their idea of futuristic in the 70s. That's kind of the way I'd explain it. They'd be like, yeah, this is what they'll be driving around in 20 years time. And it's got also, yeah, there's definitely some Russianness to it. So I like this as well, to be honest. just quickly, what are they priced? 228, 147. That's pretty dear. 228. Not that it matters. Got the money bug mod thing now, but what the fuck is that? Oh, the track. Oh yeah, shit. I'll have to take that out quickly. Just quick. I'm just gonna go for a little lap. See how quick it is, isn't it? To be honest, all I could say with the rear plough, I'm sure there's situations where you can get it to work, but you're going to be running over rocks for, yeah, it's not like, get that rhino thing. What's it, is it called like the Rhinoc or something, but the rhino, it's like an APC. I'd definitely rather get that for ploughing. That has a pretty decent, even if this plough wasn't flapping around and all the rest of it, because you're running over the rocks first with the tyres, the rocks might start moving and then that helps them kind of roll and roll under the plough instead of getting knocked forward by the plough. So yeah, I wouldn't say that would be very good. Other stuff, maybe it's alright. Like I said, a bit late to be trying it tonight. Well, oh yeah, the last mod, to be honest. Where is it? I didn't really try the last mod. I just respected the fact that they stuck it in the thumbnail with a loaf on it. So I went and got one. Stuck my own loaf on it. I mean, to be fair, a little slap. Notice how I hit the loaf and I took the damage. The loaf didn't take a beam. Yeah, I don't know. Even, I mean, to be honest, it's not the most useful of mods, and this does take some room up on the memory thing, so I don't know. I quite like the look of it, and I like the fact that it's got a loaf sat on it. But I don't know if I was going as far as to say like it's gonna change your game. Yeah, get her in. Still looks pretty funny. Yeah, well, we'll probably call it a day there then. Been using the Cat 745C as a scout. I mean, yeah, that's like, say what I did for it really, was scouting the watchtower things. It was quite useful for that. Sarah Smith, your mum is for, never mind. Jane Cobb's hat, rear plough. That sounds naughty. I was going to say, living the dream, finally getting to plough the rear, but I don't know. Turns out, not as good as I've heard. The rumours aren't true. Aussie man, good thing about multiple accounts. More thumbs up. I appreciate it, dude. Different gaming zone. Hello from London, Tottenham. How's it going, dude? Are you up all night, or you just got up? Either way, you're either on an early one or a late one. But either way, was it? Yeah, different gaming zone. What happened to you this week? Oh, sorry, it jumped up. But yeah, I've just been like sorting my house out. A few things I've needed to get sorted as well. Phone calls, getting various different things sorted. I was going to do a couple of videos, just didn't feel well a bit earlier in the week, and yeah, just sort of sod it. I'll have the full week off. Treat myself while it's a bit quiet. Like I said, it'll still be, yeah, probably not a video every day or anything until we get phase 5 really. But I have still got some more videos to do, so I will get them done. Kitty face reveal when? I'm honestly not sure. It's going to be like, again, don't expect it in weeks. I'm going to need to get a camera sorted and all sorts, so I can promise it will be on the way at some point, but I can't promise when, and it ain't going to be like, yeah, weeks. It's going to be longer than that. Just, is that Wyvern? Hey, just showed up, can't wait for the new maps to go live. The Tatra truck actually feels pretty nice. Even the small boy surprised me. It's got like, I like the speed of the small one, and it was quite funny. I, to be honest, didn't help myself. I was trying to tow a 4-slot ramp flatbed with it on these new maps, but yeah, I don't dislike the little one. And the bigger Tatra, it's not that I don't like it, I just still prefer the Dolphin and stuff. I think it'd be nicer if it had a high range gearbox. But yeah, if you're enjoying it, then good. It's good news. Different gaming zone. I'm all night on, bro. Oh yeah, so yeah, same here really. Although, like I said, oh, insomnia. Exactly the same here then. That's why I'm up all night. It's the old insomnia. It gets you. Are you the same as me then, where it's like, for whatever reason, I can sleep better in the day than at night? Not much better. I still have plenty of days where I can't sleep in the day either, but averaged out, I can sleep better in the day for some reason. I like the new Tenno mod truck. Yeah, that was this thing, wasn't it? Again, oh no, not that. What's that? Toro Italiano or something. Yeah, this thing, Tenno. Yeah, I do. I like this. I think it's pretty cool. Worth getting. And it wasn't too crazy, I'd tell you. In fact, just I'm ending the stream, but I'll just return to the main menu. I can just have a look quickly how much they do actually take up on the memory. Same, yeah, it's pretty strange how like it just seems better for insomnia, sleeping in the day. Blake Mutcher, sorry, you probably get this lots. Anybody know the release date for Phase 4 to the live? You should already have Phase 4. That's like the most recent one we've got now. But if you're on about Phase 5, which is the next one, I believe, from what I've heard, it should be the 24th of August. So what are we on now? Say, is it now the 1st? Yeah. So another 24 days, so 3 weeks, 3 days, we should have it. I get non-24 where my natural sleep pattern is more of... Oh, sorry, it jumped. But you're going to say, yeah, like, I was thinking about it myself. Is my sleeping pattern like a 36-hour sleeping pattern or something? So I need to kind of, like, yeah, keep moving around the... It could well be, though. There's nothing to say that we all have, like, exactly a 24-hour sleeping pattern. Or, sorry, yeah, Phase 5. No, that's cool, dude. But, yeah, I believe it's the 24th of August. That's the... What I've heard, that's what I'm going on up to now. The guy seemed pretty confident about it, and yeah, like I said, I believe him, so that's when I'm assuming it's coming out. I'm more active at night and sleep in the day. Yeah, same here. I come to life more at night. If life existed at night on a good, like, the shops were open, the banks were open, the hairdressers, barbers, all that were open, I'd be so productive compared to what I am now, because when I'm in the mood to do things... But 99% of the world is asleep, or not the world, but at least my country. So yeah, it's like again, like simple things. Yeah, going to the bank. If I could go to the bank at 3 in the morning, it'd just be a no-brainer. It wouldn't matter. Trying to do it at 3 p.m. when I normally would be asleep, or I feel like death, is a serious inconvenience. Aussie man, yes. Oh yeah, sorry, I'll just show you the memory on those things quickly. Yes, 12 hours, still survive the hunt, 37 on Fail Races channel. Oh yeah, I'll watch some of this stuff. So again, you can see like this... Oh, god damn it. The Petterman thing, this thing at the top, that wheel's spinning. I can't turn it on at the minute because I've got too many mods on. I had to turn that off as well. Where are some of these mods? So there's a tractor. If I turn that off, yeah, adds not crazy, but that is a noticeable little chunk. Where's the other? What else we got? Kenny. See, that is it's a bigger chunk than the tractor, but for a Kenny, that's bloody good. Because where's another Kenny? Yeah, that's there you go. Like that's pretty much. So it's probably about half as much, which is still an improvement. What's this one like? The Tenno. Yeah, probably around the same as the tractor. Certainly noticeable again. But again, if you compare it to the JBE P16, it doesn't even register a difference. But still, but the point is, none of them were like insane or anything. Oh, and then this one. See, look, it got a loaf on it. Like, I respect it. Canuck runner. He knows. Yeah, again, a little chunk. It's a little bit smaller than probably the Kenny and that, but yeah, all been pretty fun mods. I'll get around to selling them at some point. Actually, the day is 23:58 long. Your PS4 needs, what's that? Gink Blober. Oh, I've heard of that. Isn't that a drink or something? I could be wrong on that. But it rings a bell, I've certainly never drank it. Are you on PS4? I am, yeah. yeah, like I said, eventually I would like to get a PC more for, not specifically this game, but I just think in the long run for editing and just other things, it'd be easier and better to sort of go that route. So I might go, yeah, sort of PC instead of PlayStation 5. But as and when, I'd be interested in getting a PS5. I'm not that desperate to get one at the minute. The whole thing where they kind of released it by surprise and all the scalpers bought them all up. Yeah, they kind of shot themselves in the foot a bit with that, so I'm not bothered. I ain't in no rush to get one. I can't afford to get one anyway, so that solves that issue. But one day when they're they're freely available, then I might look into them. It's for memory loss. Oh yeah, wow, I need some of that. Never mind me PlayStation. Both do with it. But you need to remember to use the stuff. What's that? I'm a retired firefighter, so my sleep schedule is all messed up. Yeah, it's pretty crazy there, man. Fair play for doing it firefighting. I don't know, well, I wouldn't be good at firefighting. Predominantly asthma, I don't think it'd help the situation. But yeah. Well, a mate of mine, to be honest, was doing a firefighter, and he said, to be honest, what ended up putting him off it in the end, he wasn't, like, grossed out by it. He just said it's not something he really enjoyed, but he said it's running into a house that's on fire wasn't what bothered him. It was a lot of, like, road accidents and cars where there's, you know, like, mangled people and all sorts that they had to cut out of cars. He said that's more what he didn't enjoy about it. Like, when it, obviously, you think a firefighter, like, I don't know how keen I would be to run into a burning house, if I'm honest. But obviously it's dependent, like, if there's someone in there, someone anyway, even if I didn't know them, that's going to encourage you to do it. If you do know them, obviously you're going to be going for it even more. But still, I respect firefighters. I don't see why. You see it in England every now and then, where there's, like, obviously all these gangs of fucking dickheads just call the fire, like, say there's a fire somewhere, or probably just set a fire. Then when the fire engine turns up, they start throwing bricks at the windows and that, and it's like, what kind of arsehole calls the fire brigade out to start giving them shit? It's like, if your house is on fire, they're the only ones that are going to come running in after you. Plus, where I used to live, guy was a volunteer firefighter who had a shop, and he used to serve me for cigarettes when I was about 13, which was quite nice of him, and get alcohol when I was about 15, so he gained my respect even more. Aussie man, exactly my point. What's that then? stuff you take to remember. Tatra 813 works great with the multi-purpose gearbox. Cheers, I'll try it out. It's just, I'd prefer it if it had the high range in general. Especially with that slower range on it, it's like I'd rather just take the Zik 605R over the Tatra. But again, in Phase 5, apparently there's some more attachments and things that are on the way for it, so we'll see. I've not completely lost hope on it. It's just Tatra in real life are like pretty much a legendary status of a name. Even people, like me included, who aren't particular off-road enthusiasts have heard of Tatra. And I don't think the trucking game quite lives up to what it should. They could make it good without being broken or anything like that. Can't wait for the, what's that, GGMS trailer pack? Oh, is that the GGMS? Is that like the electric? The guy who did the electric pack. Different gaming zone. SnowRunner, you have to follow the rules, Mr. Lone Wolf. I cracked the Matrix. Exactly. Do whatever we feel like. Get a goddamn horse. That's what you do. It said. He's probably the one. Probably went on to become Neo. Wouldn't surprise me. He's that kind of loaf. Well, yeah, like I say, anyway, we'll call it a day there. I could keep chatting on, but yeah, I appreciate everyone turning up. I do have plans to do videos this week, and to be fair, I've also done most of me messing around the house, so they're most likely, I'm not going to 100% guarantee it, there's most likely going to be videos, probably 2 or 3 or something throughout the week. But again, if I go missing, don't worry, I'm just busy getting on with things, because again, if I can get everything else around me kind of tied up and sorted in time for Phase 5, then yeah, then I've just got nothing else to do other than hammer Phase 5, get some videos flying out and all the rest of it. So that's why it'd be quite nice to just get everything all done. But yeah, like I said, long term, I'm not going anywhere. I'm still here. I'll still be cracking on with this when we get a bit more content to do. How many loafs are you up to now? Got 50, I think. 50 or 60 on my first playthrough, 40 on this modded playthrough, and 40 on the other one, so call it 50, 40, is it 60? I think it might, call it 50, 40 and 40, so what's that, 80, 130? 130 loafs, it'll do. I am running low, but I could get a few more, probably 150 to 200. Oh well, then again, when we get another phase, I usually need like another 20 or 30 per phase, so yeah, might have to go shopping again. Get me some, don't mind a bit of loaf shopping though. Ronald D, guess the stream's ending, Mr. Wolf. It is, it's just about done. Mark Rowe, good stream as usual, I appreciate it, dude. Aussie man, chat later, man. Football love from our pride to your hood, to your house. Oh god, I appreciate it, dude. Dragon Slayer, night, Mr. Lone Wolf, I appreciate it. Sarah Smith, are you gonna use them as currency? Be the world's first loaf billionaire? I'd happily do that. I mean, that'd be a logical way to go. Don't need decentralised finance. Need a loaf finance. That's what we need. See, Loaf would have taught me the value of money in school. He wouldn't have messed around with electron diffraction. Yeah, anyway, we'll call it a day there though. But yeah, I appreciate everyone turning up. It was a good old stream. I enjoyed chatting to you. And like I said, one way or another, I'll be back pretty damn soon. Strike Commander. Good night, Mr. Lone Wolf. I appreciate it. See you later, guys. Jason and Sarah Smith, please post more videos. I like them. I'll get back onto some. Sarah Smith, night, Mr. Lone Wolf. I appreciate it. See you later, guys.